Check one, one, two. Hey, snare, snare, kick, kick. Tom,
Yeah.
Tom.
Kick, floor
Hi,
tom,
hi hat, hi hat.
overheads. Okay, guitar, stage left. Oh yeah.
September 2022. This is Schmitty with another episode of Talking Schmidt. I got myself a podcast here that is, that game where you do 7 degrees separation of Kevin Bacon. Well, we do 2 degrees separation of skateboarding here on the podcast. And my next guest is Nick Freitas, who used to work for Thrasher Skateboard Magazine. He's a talented musician. He's a talented photographer. He's got a lot of charm and charisma. And he's been on stage with Conor Oberst. That and much more today on the pod. Grew up in Visalia with the Paez brothers, Karma, Tom Knox, Incorporated. And it was good catching up with him. Also, happy birthday to the 2021 reigning Mother of the Year, Judith Eileen Lavelle, who I might be biased, but I actually think she's Mother of the Year every year. Happy birthday, Mom. I hope today is 5 degrees cooler somehow. Grab an ice pack out of the freezer. I know it's over 100 degrees where you live, but we love you. Sending all the best vibes and love and hope your day is great.
And it's good to hear all this love,
Other than that, I'd like to give a big shout out to the hardworking crew at 1831 Market Street. Deluxe SF is back open. It's clean, remodeled, and looking tight. If you have been going by there and it wasn't open, you can go by there now and it is open. Tell them Schmitty sent you. You might even get a free sticker.
Is that real?
Yep. I did the interview with Nick Freitas last week, and then I get the text from the good friend of the show, Jason Lee Jesse, and he says he and the Paez brothers, Richard and Jesse, along with Andy Roy, were going to take their new little situation with the driven skateboards up to Sacramento for a little, appearance. I think they were, I don't even know what was going on, to be honest. There was some rally at the skate park, second annual, and they were up there signing boards and just doing positive things in the 916 where it was over 100 degrees, 100% skateboarding, 100-degree skateboarding. You decide.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I drove up there and got to spend the day with those guys, and it was so kick-ass to see Richard and Jesse. Jeff Toland was there. We drove over and hung out with Ricky Windsor for a while. It was a really good day. Each one of those dudes is a gold medalist at storytelling, and the laughs were aplenty. Windsor just stole the show. He was cracking us all up, but it's always good. We went to Old Town afterwards and had some burgers at Fanny Ann's or someplace like that. And it was good. And but catching up with Richard and Jesse, who I haven't seen for over 20 years for sure. And of course, Jason and Andy is always good. Thanks to Jeff Toland for giving us the direction to where we needed to be to eat and have some wonderful conversation piece. Anyway, I might be a little nasal today because my allergies seem to be acting up, but I hope you enjoy the show. We're back. We took a week off, and to be honest with you, I might just go bi-monthly or bi-weekly or whatever you want to call it. Every other week, I might take a week off. This is what I'm contemplating here. We're also looking into bigger and better things. People have suggested doing this Patreon thing, so I'm looking into that. If you have any advice or information, always welcome here. TalkingSchmidt@gmail.com.
Hey, it's Corey at Blue Plate, 3218 Mission Street. Come see us. Meatloaf, fried chicken, deviled eggs, Dollar Olympia beers. We're here every day of the week. We got a garden, and we got smiles on our faces. Come let us make you happy.
Head on over to your local shop and ask for Blood Wizard. If they're out, then you can tickety-tack on down to bloodwizard.com where you have all of your conjuring needs.
We still got a few items on the website at talkingschmidt.com/shop. That's like hashtag hint, hint. Please support the show and buy a t-shirt. Also, if you don't have any money and you want to support the show, just hit subscribe and then tell 3 to 5 friends that don't know about it to subscribe. And then we can grow. I can get advertising and make a couple slices of cheese from a burger. This show is dedicated to Judith Eileen Lavelle, and away we go.
This is Nick Freitas, and you're listening to Talking Schmidt.
Holy cannoli.
It's cool, like tonight is the night.
Yeah. Big Dog's in.
Do we really want to be here?
Oh, everything's changed.
We on? Schmitty?
Talking Schmidt.
Talking Schmidt, dude!
You gonna come out different.
Shit my pants, lad.
Your Rolodex is fucking deep.
Holy shit.
It's about the ones.
Who is this guy? Thinks he's tough shit.
What's up?
Come on, Schmitty, what the fuck?
Tell the skateboard police to come get me.
What is happening?
I'm here for Greg Swift.
When my next guest is not up on stage at the Reading Festival in England, filling in harmonics for Connor Oberst, or out on a curb just slashing it up, grinding slappies across the Visalia project, he can be found in the old US of A with his solo project. We met through skateboarding, however, as he was a staff photographer for Thrasher magazine before I even started working there. Ladies and gentlemen, and variations thereof, this is Nick Freitas.
That was a great intro, man. Thank you.
Look at that. Turn up the reverb. Let's get a little bass and turn down the treble because we are back.
You are in my studio right now, though. This is where I do everything. I don't know if you can see it, but
I wish, dude. I always see your studio, like photos and videos. I'm like, God, that's at your house, or is that?
It's in the garage. Yeah, it's in the garage. It's just all you have to do is get a room and just fill it with gear, and it just looks awesome. I just painted the walls, painted the floor, and just put all my shit in here. I got my piano and over there.
But does that drum set ever get used?
Yeah, on every song I do.
See, but then how does your family and neighbors?
I have to wait till they're like, right. My wife is at work. The girls are at school.
Okay.
And that's when I do it. I have like a 3-4 hour window to do anything loud. Neighbors are cool with it because they're far. But yeah, because I'm underneath the house. So the living room's right here and then the kitchen. So anything loud, I got to do during the day while they're at school. That's what the summer was rough, dude. It was hard to get anything done. But
okay. But I noticed there's no carpet really or egg crates or anything.
No,
right?
I just do egg crates. No, it's all. I made all these sound panels. I've had them for 10 years.
Oh, okay.
Home Depot and then like Joann's Fabric. And I just you just make them. So that's what does it. Because I mean, it's pretty. There's a little bit of a bounce. But you want that, I think. And then I have a corner over here that's isolated. So, if I need to do vocals or guitars, then everything's here. And then I kind of have like my gear is here. So it kind of isolates the sound so I can hear it through the speakers. Everything's definitely thought out here. And it's all like plugged in. So drums are mic'd. All these keyboards I have right here, which you can't see, are plugged into here. So anytime boom, I'm ready to go. And that's what I have to do what I do for work. It's got everything's like, you got to do it the next day. So,
how are you?
Good, man. Good. I'm really looking forward to this. I love the podcast. I'm really stoked.
Are you a podcast guy?
Yes, I'm addicted to them.
What's top 3?
There's one I'm watching, Crooked City. Have you listened to that one right now? It's just like mobsters in Ohio.
Okay.
Jim, what's the name? That one's good. I like, Al Franken podcast. I like that one.
Oh, sick. I listen to Mark Maron a lot lately.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Yeah. Of course. That one's so good. Yeah, that's a good one.
I was listening to Smartless, and I listened to every one from the first one they did till Caught Up. And I started listening to Mark Maron, and I was like, this one's kind of better.
It's way better. And he's
Mark
the original.
Maron's more insightful, and Smartless is like, we don't know anything.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know.
But I love those guys.
Yeah, totally. But Maron's like, he started out in Highland Park, just like in his garage, like,
right.
I'm just gonna do, I don't know what to, and it turned into something huge. It's so rad.
Yeah, one of the first ones I listened to was when his girlfriend died, and he just came on like instantly, and it was so heartfelt and crazy. I was like, dude, this guy's sharing everything, like in the moment. Like, it was gnar.
He's a real comedian. I think comedians are pretty like sensitive, dark people. You know what I mean? And like the Smartless dudes are, they're kind of they're rad, but that's a good one too. There's so many, man. There's like,
are you more humor or true crime?
True crime, dude.
True crime, dude.
Oh,
like when Netflix started doing true crime, you couldn't keep me off it.
Dude, nonstop every night. I do. Did you just watch? Was the Untold ones? Have you done that one? Untold.
No.
They're so good. Oh man,
okay.
You gotta check those out.
My favorite one's the one where the guy steals the submarine.
Oh my, what's it called? The Russian sub with. Can you get missiles or something like that?
Dude, it's so sick. They're like, you're never gonna get this guy to interview, and then the next scene, it's like, what the fuck you want?
Yeah.
Maybe you don't need to ask me these questions, huh? Like, fuck.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's a good one. There's so many. Like but there's also a lot of bad ones. But
this is where my wife just loves. Every time I ask this question, she just looks at me and turns red.
Love it.
But I started out with, you were born in Visalia, right?
I was, yeah.
Oh, so usually I get it wrong.
No, I was born and raised there. Yeah,
born and raised. Okay. Tell us a little bit about the Visalia life.
I don't know. It's a special place. I think a lot of people associate Visalia with skate camp, or they did.
Right.
Which was in the mountains, and Visalia is not in the mountains. It's far from it. It's in like deep in the heart of the San Joaquin Valley. It would get so hot during the summer, freezing cold in the winter. But it was weird because there was no university, there was no like real cultural things going on, so you kind of had to make it happen yourself. And I don't know, there wasn't a lot to do, and I think that's why so many people got good at stuff. Like Tom Knox, Karma, Jeff Clint. I mean, they just got, because there was nothing else to do. There were no venues. Like bands didn't come through and play. Right. So you kind of just figured stuff out on your own. So that's really what it was like. I mean, it was like any other town, but, Little League, all that stuff. But skateboarding, for some reason, there was the Y ramp, there was the vert ramp at the Y, and that's how a lot of Tom Knox and all those guys. But that was before my time. I'm like a different generation.
What about Chris Borsch? Is he Bakersfield?
Yeah, I think he's Bakersfield. I don't know him, but yeah.
Remember in that PAL video where they're looking for the ramp?
Yeah.
That's Bakersfield, right?
Yeah, I would think that's Bakersfield. I don't know for sure. Don't quote me on that. But there was Alan Peterson was from Fresno. That's all I knew. And Ryan Johnson, remember, he was from Sanger.
Well, RJ forever.
RJ forever.
I think there's no David Gravett without RJ, man.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. He was such an interesting dude too, man. Wow. I used to go there, and he was very like, another thing about those guys is there was no video camera back then. Remember, they were like anti-video camera. Right. So, and when you shot a photo with those guys, you had to get it right. They're not going to do it again. There was a lot of pressure.
Like it's how Anti-Hero still runs it.
They run it like that?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Trujillo, can you try that again? Fuck.
Nope.
Yeah. I'm drinking a beer, bro. Fuck
yeah,
off.
It's over. You got to be in the moment, and that's one thing that's so different now. It's like I had to be in the moment, like as soon as I started seeing someone try something, I would be like, camera gear's out, plug in the flash in, you know what I mean? Like, you got to be ready to go.
Well, what came first for you, the skateboard, the camera, or a musical instrument?
Oh, wow. Musical instrument actually was first, then the skateboard. It was guitar. It was a guitar. But I just kind of gravitated towards the drums after that. I'd kind of mess with it. And then I just got into the drums. That's what I grew up playing. Like so many, I played drums in the jazz band in high school. That's my main instrument was drums. But then skateboarding first, for sure, before the photos.
What was skateboarding like? Junior high or what?
Yeah. Summer before 8th grade year, I'd say 8th grade year. That's when it happened. Everyone in the neighborhood. I grew up skating in the neighborhood, like in the 80s, late 80s. The launch ramp era. But then everyone quit in the neighborhood, and it was kind of like, and then everyone got rollerblades. I don't know if you remember that. It was terrible.
I went straight to the Uniwheel. I skipped the rollerblades.
It was so bad. And then, I just remember, like I said, I used to go with my parents to the grocery store, and I would just, the only reason I went is to go to the magazine section to look at skate mags. That was it. And then, I write about it. It's just like, there was an interview with Tom Knox.
Shout out.
Transworld.
I used that bad word.
And it was like photos. I recognized where he was skating, and I was like, what? And he was talking about Visalia, and that was it for me. I was just like, I got to skate,
So was Tom Knox one of your early childhood? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude. You could go and see him skate. You know what I mean? Like, just go downtown, and there he was.
What was the bank to curb? McDonald's or a gas
station? Yeah, that's
Bakersfield,
yeah.
McDonald's Would you go there?
Not till later. We didn't, not till someone got a car or a license, I went there with Tom a few times, though. He, still just shredded it. He showed me where it used to say "fuck Tom Knox" and spray paint. Someone spray painted it. He showed me. He's like, "Look, you can still see it."
And he wrote it.
He might have wrote it. I don't know. But he was gnarly, dude. He was very like, he didn't talk to anybody, dude. He would he skated by himself. He would just like show up to a spot, and just like just shred everything, and then just like you'd look up and he'd be gone, dude, and we'd be like, wow, it was crazy. Yeah, he was. Then later on he started like being cool and talking to everybody. He was very, very serious, dude. Yeah, he never fell off his board ever. He never did, dude. I swear.
Yeah. Huh. Did you go to school with anybody?
No. I was on the east side of town. That's the thing. We were on the outskirts, and so there was no one in my class. Nanda Zip was a senior in high school when I was a freshman.
Oh, I didn't know. Nanda's from there too?
Yeah, Nanda. Yeah.
I thought he was from Santa Rosa. He moved there later, I guess.
Later, right after, yeah.
Oh, okay. When you're skating, were you aware of like these guys, but you hadn't met them yet?
I was definitely aware of them. the first, like, as soon as I got into skating, I was just like, I was obsessed. So it was like, I had to know everything. It was right when Troops of Tomorrow came out. Do you remember that video?
Uh-huh.
That's my first video I got.
Oh.
And so, yeah, then you go downtown and you'd see, Richard.
Shout out.
We're the same age.
No tattoos yet.
Oh, none, no. He was short. He was really short.
Hamburger Jr.
Yeah. And he hung out with a crowd. They were pretty, they were pretty intimidating, like his friend. They were, VSL, that's what it was. Visalia Skate Locals. They were like a little kind of gang.
Uh-huh.
But not yet. They were still just like whatever. Right. But Richard was super friendly. I never got like weird vibes from him ever. He was just fun. And they were always playing dice against the wall. So you would get to I swear to God, dude, they were always playing dice. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, those guys have always been hospitable. I used to go down there when I was working for Think. Pancho McKinney and I would drive down and meet up with Jesse and go to Hanford, and then we'd go into Visalia, and I met Dale and some of the locals, and they all just, it was good times. It was just all about like, hey, what's up? Let's do, like
totally,
it was never a bad vibe. And Richard's always been cool too, like all those dudes.
Yeah, it's insane. It's really, like I said, I feel so fortunate. I don't know. That's why I made the book. I don't know why like that. For some reason, there's so many different towns in the valley, but Visalia, there so many people gravitated towards there, and so many good people came out of there. Yeah, Nanda Zip was from there. I remember walking to class, and he was skating, and there was a water fountain. It was kind of like, I don't know, a little over knee high, and he was ollieing it, and he did it, and we were just like, oh my! And I remember, in my mind, I was like, when I'm a senior, I have to ollie that fountain. You know, it was like a mandatory thing.
Right.
But yeah, I remember it was mind blowing. Like getting to see all that stuff in real life, not, you know what I mean? Not just in videos, like getting to see Tom skating as fast as he did. You really I saw what a professional was really early on, you know, rather than just like you're skating with your bros. Like you were like, you saw what the bar was, you know?
Well, who did you end up meeting first and kind of becoming friends with? Would it have been Karma? Richard? Okay.
Oh, yeah, because we were the same age. He would always, every time I saw him, he would be like, I had a green backpack, I remember, and had my camera in there. I took a photo class my freshman year, so anytime I skated downtown, I didn't know anybody yet, and I had my camera in there, and Richard would be like, you bring your camera? He'd always be like, you bring your camera? And he would be like, goof off, he'd like light a joint. He'd be like, take a picture, Nick, take a picture. And he'd like smoking a joint. And, but then we'd go wherever, like we started skating these benches. And that's who I met first was Richard. He was the first one that told me, he's like, you should send your pictures to Thrasher. And I was like, what? Like, you know, and I did, you know, but he was the first one, Richard. And then Tom was he started coming around and he was the first one that really kind of like told me what professional photographers used, you know. He was the first one. First ad I ever had was Tom Knox.
For Santa Cruz or?
No, this is post Santa Cruz. Remember he was on Sonic.
Oh yeah.
So it was it was a Going ad, if you can believe that. Yeah.
Still waiting for the check?
No, it was $50. I got it. Yeah, $50. That was huge, dude. That was a big deal. You know what I mean?
Big.
I didn't even know, you know, you could really, I was like, really? That's crazy, you know?
I think I have the check stub for my first paid photo.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Who was it from?
It was this dude named Abe Bunachita, and I forget what company it was. It was like in Big Brother, and it was an ad. I forget what, it was like a smaller than Sonic, but it was like 50 or $75. And I just remember going, just, whoa.
Yeah, no, and here's the thing for me, and this is straight up true. Like, okay, advertisements made sense. Like, okay, company, but I started getting photos in the mag, like not in Photo Graffiti, like because that was the first thing. It was like Photo Graffiti, and then I started submitting to the mag, like to, I think Luke had just taken over.
Shout out.
As the photo editor, so I started sending it to him, and then I remember opening up a magazine, and there my photo was in it, like not in Photo Graffiti, it was like in a photo section, and I was like, whoa! And all my friends who were just like, and then I got two of Jesse in there, and people started going, you get paid for that, and I was like, no, you know, like I was like, no, I'm good, like I'm in the mag, like it doesn't, I'm good, you know,
yeah.
And then it was like honestly, like a year or two later, my mom calls me. I just graduated high school. I'm living with Tim and Jeremy, and my mom calls me. She's like, there's this guy, he keeps calling, his name's Luke, says he's from High Speed Productions. And I was like, what? Like, so I called the number, and he goes, is this Nick? I was like, yeah. And he goes, man, we owe you money, you know. And I was like, what? He's like, we owe you $750. And I was like, what, you know. And then the light bulb was like on at that point. Then I was like, oh, I'm doing this, you know. I'm doing this. Yeah, that was like 96.
96.
I delivered pizzas at the time. I remember I was delivering pizzas. And I remember in my mind, like, truly, I was like, I'll just always have a job, you know? And I'll just, like, skate and take pictures of my friends. Like, it was that simple, dude. That's it, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it changed everything.
What about meeting the Felper?
That was, oh, man, do you really want to hear this story?
Yeah.
It's a real story. It's one of the So then the last person I got to meet was Karma, because he didn't live there, you know.
Oh.
In Visalia when I was, you know, he'd already moved away. So he would come to town, and I was living with Tim, Jeremy, and then of course Dale, Richard, Jesse. They just lived at our house basically because it was somewhere to drink beer and just chill, you know. So they were at our house all the time, and then Karma started coming over. I met him and immediately liked him, but you know, he's definitely has a vibe about him, you know what I mean? But he goes, why don't you come up to SF and stay with me, you know, and let's hang. I said, all right. So I just drove up there. I think I was 18 years old. And he's like, why don't let's go to the mag. You want to go meet Jake? And I was like, yeah, you know, I'll go meet him. Like, And I'd had photos in the mag. They'd run little stories I'd written. So I was feeling pretty good about myself, dude. I was. And so I walked in there
that
just
all changed.
Yeah. Oh my, so fast. So I go in there and there, you know, of course Karma walks in. Everyone's like, "What's up, Karma?" And so I go in, you know, the sliding glass door. They had the white leather couch. Remember that? And I go in there. There's a couple people on the couch. I don't know who they are. And there's Luke. And so Karma's like, "Hey, you know, this is Nick Freitas, Luke." And Luke like was super cool. Obviously, he was just like, "Yeah, rad, name to the face." Like, and he goes, "Jake, this is Nick," you know? And I was like, you know, I stuck my hand out to shake his hand. And he looked at my hand. He goes, "You're the dude that took the worst photo I've ever seen in a magazine." And I was just like, you know what I mean? Like feeling, and just, I was like the smallest person in the world. I was just like done. I was like, but I remember going, and I could hear some laughter, and Carmen knew what was going to happen. See, he already knew, but I did, you know, he was like, "Here you go. Like, get ready to get destroyed. Here you go." So anyway, and I was like, "What?" I remember I was like, "What photo? What are you talking about?" And he and there was a stack on there. There was a stack of mags on his desk, and he goes over there and he kind of thumbs through them really fast, and he just like rips out a mag, like in the middle of the stack. He goes through all the pages, and he just turns it around and he just shows it to me. He goes, "This one," and I was like, "Oh my God!" Like he knew that, you know. And I just remember at that moment, I just said, I have to work for this guy. You know what I mean? This is it. This is it.
What was the photo? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was Tim Garner. It wasn't that bad of a photo. It was pretty bad. He was doing a heel flip, you know, frontside grab to fakie on a mini ramp. And I took it right when it just looks like a bail. It does look like a bail in hindsight. But I remember thinking,
why did they run it?
It was an ad. It was an ad. It was an ad.
He loved pointing out the shitty ads.
Man. So then he just goes, he put his hand around my shoulder, he turns me around, and he goes, "Let me give you the 10-cent tour." And he kind of, we go outside of the sliding glass doors, and he kind of points, he goes, "That's the copy editor." He's like, "That's Nico. That's so-and-so." And he's like, you know, "Make yourself at home." And and I sat on the couch for, it would seem like an eternity. I didn't say a word for the rest of the time I was in there. Not a word, dude. I just listened. And then Luke goes, and this I'll never forget, he goes, "Do you need film?" I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Here." And he gave me a box of film and batteries. And Jake goes, "You're welcome here anytime." To me, he goes, "Whatever you do, don't go downstairs." And I was just like, "You got it." And from then on, from the moment I walked to that glass door, I never gave a photo to anybody else. Never. That was it. And you know what he meant about downstairs,
Flap
right?
was downstairs.
Yes.
Stay away from Dawes.
I love Lance Dawes. I love that dude. But
me too.
But I literally, every time I went down there to get a soda, remember there was a soda machine down there?
Oh, yeah.
A soda. I didn't even go in there. You know, if someone was there, I'd just kind of give him a nod. I was like, nope, I don't go in there.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I did.
You know, almost right before he died, I feel like, I think he got a phone call from you, and he was like, "Smitty, you want to go? Nick's playing the Fillmore somewhere, you know, like," and he was all hyped and like excited
amazing.
About. Yeah, it was really, you know, there was a lot of people that he didn't get excited about, and so when he did get excited, you're like, "Oh, I guess Nick's in good grace."
Yeah, wow, that makes me feel. Man, I can't tell you how much he meant to me. He was a huge deal. It was a huge deal, man. Like yeah, it's crazy. It's, you know.
Well, I learned the hard way that sometimes it's better to have someone bugging you all the time than not at all.
Yeah.
You know, like,
what do you mean by the hard way? What do you mean? Like,
well,
dealing
I mean,
with Jake?
Jake's gone, and now the people at the mag, they're very opposite of what Jake.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I swear to God, this is no lie. Every morning I woke up to a text from Jake. He was already awake and he was firing me up about something.
Yeah.
It's like, did you get the edit done? You want to meet for coffee? Like something every fucking morning. And then when Instagram finally caught radar on his radar, which was way late, he was so late to Instagram. But when he got on, I was the one that did it for him. So he would send me photos and video with captions every day and be like,
wow,
throw this up, blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, dude, we're going to get into trouble at some point. But he kept it pretty legit. Like, I thought there was going to be some real horror, you know, like, because Tony hit me up like right when we started doing it. Vitello, he was just like, dude, if there's anything sketchy, hit me up first.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I can imagine.
But
I sent him, he posted something. I texted him an old photo of Karma and then he was like doing a front blunt slide that he put up there.
Sick.
That was rad. So that was you that probably did it though.
Yeah, there was a couple emergencies. One time he sent me something of Gon's that wasn't okayed by Mark, and I guess Mark hit him up instantly. He was like, take that down, blah, blah, blah. So he hit me up. He's like, Smitty, we made a mistake. Turn it down. Yeah, some good ones.
Yeah, he like I said, man, it's crazy that I don't think people understand. I know that there's a lot of people that he rubbed the wrong way, you know, and I just think maybe they just didn't get it, or he's such a special dude. I think he was different with everybody, you know. I think he would, if he liked you or something, he saw what you were good at or something, and then he was able to like make you do it, you know, like, what do you got? Like, what are you doing? You know, I would just get random phone calls. Yeah. Or I remember before I got to be a staff photographer, you know, I was submitting stuff and I went through, you know, I was living in San Francisco. I lived there for like a little over a year.
Yeah.
I lived with like Scott Bourne and those dudes. And that was, you know, pretty rough.
The room without a window.
It was, it was pretty ridiculous. But anyway, yeah, I was just like down and out. I was just like, man, fuck this. I don't want to do this anymore. And I saw him. I just went on a trip with Karma, Richard, Doug Sands, and Jesse. We drove. Karma got this free car for like a year.
Hyundai?
No, Daewoo.
Daewoo, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember it? So he got this car, and we just drove out for a couple weeks. Had the great time, skated. I shot photos the whole time.
How
you know,
cool.
whatever. It was the best times, dude. And so I went to go see Built to Spill at Amoeba in SF. And I'm walking out and I see Jake, which was so rare, you know, because and he sees me. I was like, oh, shit. And because I hadn't been in the mag for a while. I hadn't given him anything because I was just kind of down and out. I was just like, man, I don't know if I want to do this. And he sees me. He's like, what are you doing? You know? What the hell is wrong with you? Know? And I was like, what? He's like, I go, man, I just went on a trip with Carmen. He's like, that needs to be on my desk next week. And I was like, you got it. And
he loved Karma.
Yeah. And so I was just like, okay. And so I just went home and literally hand wrote a story. I just made up a story. I just thought about it, did it, put it in an envelope. I'd moved back to Visalia at this point.
Okay.
And I put it in an envelope and just like sent it off. And it was like 6 pages or 8 pages, like 2 months later. And I was like, okay, what am I doing? I got to do this, you know? Then it was on. It was just on. He just had that ability to just get, like,
motivate.
Do it. Yeah. You know, and I think to the right people, it was the best thing. To some people, they're just like, meh, and whatever. They're missing out. Really.
But in a way, like, you know, we could talk about this forever, but the thing that I always say is like, the times were obviously different.
Yeah.
What drew us to skateboarding was a lot different than what's drawing today's people to skateboarding.
Right.
You know, like we were already outcasts. We were the guys that were getting thrown into lockers in high school that were like, why do you have a mohawk? You're a kook. Like all this shit. Like
it was not cool.
It was not cool. And there was not that many of us. So in a way, when you got together and there was this like semi like brotherhood of initiations and whatnot, it just felt cooler and cooler every step of the way because you were, you know, trying to like get in with the right guys and eventually fucking walk the walk. And like, you don't just get to fucking stop by the mag and say, can I have free gear? Like these guys today, I don't even know you and you're sending me emails every month to get free gear. It's like, dude, it was not like that. I'll tell you that.
No. Wow. Really? That's what happened? No.
Yeah.
You had to go in there and endure. You had to go in there and endure the
improve. You know, like
improve. There you go.
It's like a sponsor me for fucking photographers and videographers. Like it's not just like, hey, I got a camera, I'm in, right? Like,
yeah. Wow. Yeah.
I remember the the story about dude's first trips with he called them bitch bags because they had wheels on them. Now everybody runs them. But like if you had the bitch bag, you were cut. Like you have wheels on your fucking tote bag. Get out of here. You're not going with us anywhere, motherfucker. Like just straight up. Like good skater, but like you just go off. It's like, you know, nowadays, like I'll probably have to beep out bitch bag in the podcast because you can't say that anymore or whatever. Yeah. But it's just like, it was just different times.
It is. And it was, man.
But we are evolving, Nick. We're evolving.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. But Jake was good at able to just like, no, and we're missing that. You know, it's hard because, and it's in music too, man. There's a lot of that in music too, where there's no.
Well, there's
no bar.
There's people in life that do things that nobody else wants to do, and then people look at that person. They're like, I don't like that person, but you're like, but that person is saving you from doing all the shit you don't want to do.
Right.
You know, like he's calling the people out, like you want to do that, but you don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was keeping things in check. And then with his guard down, you know, it could get a little sloppier.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
Yeah, I miss Jake every day. It's obviously him and I, you know, traveled a lot, and like, especially in the later years when we were doing the Instagram and doing so much videos content for the web, it was just, you know, we did a lot. It was me, him and Preston and whoever else. And like, it just, it was a big void when I'll never forget the day that he passed. I got the phone call and it was a text from some guy that works at Thrasher. And it was like something weird, like, is Jake dead or something? And I was just like, you know, you would hear shit like that all the time. I was like, what? I was like, no, dude, just whatever. And then he called me and he's like, no, dude, I think so. And I was like, okay, I got to go. I got to call someone that actually might know.
Right.
And then I called Tony.
Who'd you call, Tony?
Tony Vitello.
Yeah.
And he told me to call Tony and Trixie. And then I pulled the car over and I called my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time. And I was just like, I don't think I can drive. And
wow.
And she was like, luckily she was like 6 blocks away. And I was like, Jake died.
Yeah.
And you know, it was just like 1 or 2 years. I forget exactly how much, but Preston had just died.
Right.
And it was like, you know, everybody knows this story. I've told it a million times, but those two guys were very important to me. And so like, yeah, it was like, you know, fucking crazy.
Yeah. I'm sorry, man. That's,
but getting on to better things, Highway 99 versus Highway 5, which one has more tweakers?
99 all the way. Are you kidding me? 99 without a doubt. God, you could pull off at any fucking exit and you're going to find one. At the 7-Eleven, they get and go. They're just kicking it, dude. No doubt.
And then we need to know the pros and cons of canal surfing.
Well, you're going to get an ear infection probably, which I had many growing up. Yeah, it's fun though. I mean, by the end, just wear a lot of sunscreen. You're going to get sunburned. You're going to drink a lot of beer. But it's fun. Done it a few times. Yeah. Inner tubes. We did it with the inner tubes. Tie a rope to it.
Is Kelly Slater's Perfect Wave out there somewhere? Like,
no, I don't know.
I think it's in Bakersfield.
Really?
He built, you know, like, what are those things called? Like surf machines. It builds a wave so it can be the same wave every time. So like what they're thinking is competitive wise, the same guys could ride the same wave and get a real feel for who the best is.
Amazing. Yeah, I didn't know. It sounds like a Bakersfield thing. Yeah.
I think it's in Bakersfield, but I think they should do this with F1 racing. Like everyone should have the same car because the cars are like,
yeah, that's your advantage, right? That's not fair. It should be about the driver. It should be about the driver.
That's what I've said all along. Dale Earnhardt was the best, but maybe he had the best car. We don't know. You know?
Right. Yeah.
So, and then one last thing from down there. Do you know about, this is a huge phenomenon for me and my friends, the Wasco Clown.
No.
You don't know about the Wasco Clown?
Is this in the valley?
Wasco is very close to Visalia and Fresno. It's east, maybe by the prison, I think.
Okay.
And there was this dude that dressed up like a clown and held balloons and sat in the park just to freak people out. And
wow.
He became a viral sensation and then later started killing people.
Oh my
God.
God.
And he was in prison, but he had an Instagram account and there's a documentary on it. You have to.
I have to see that. Oh, I'm writing it down right now. Hold on.
It's amazing.
What is it? Wasco?
Yeah. WASCO. Like every time we drive down that way, I'm like, I'm coming up on Wasco. I think it's called Wasco. I'm not sure. One time we went through the drive-through there and we were asking them questions. I was like, do you know who it was? Like, do you know a name? Or like,
wait, was it the name of the city?
The city is Wasco, California, and the name of the documentary I think is called The Wasco
There it is.
Clown.
I see it right here. It is Wasco. It's right above Shafter. It's in between Bakersfield. It's west. No, it's a little west. It's in between the 99 and the 5. Oh, I know where this is. I know where this is.
Yeah.
Oh, that is gnarly area out there. It's kind of by Shafter. You know, there's a lot of water out there. A lot of water farming, dude. That's the next thing.
Oh,
these
really?
These dudes are sitting on so much water.
Wait,
water banks.
I heard about this. It's crazy. Like people are buying lands that have water on it so that in the future when the drought really gets bad, they'll have it.
It's all right here. That's the area. It's just west of Bakersfield. There's these huge, like water banks where they store all the water. It's sketchy, man. Like that's the future. They're gonna like start charging you for water. And anyway, what else should we talk about?
Have you ever been to the Flumes?
Dude, I've never been.
What?
I've been there. I take that back. I did go there with Tom, but they were full of water. Okay. I did go there. I never got to skate them. I've seen them, but with water in them.
Okay.
That's how Karma met Jake. Or Karma said he took have you interviewed Karma for this?
No.
podcast? You got it.
I haven't even talked to Karma in like a while. Is he
great,
still
dude.
in Ohio or something?
Yeah, he's good, man. He's really good.
Well, I'll definitely hit him.
Yeah, he told me he took. That's how he connected with Jake. Because Jake came to Visalia. Maybe he was like, "Where are these things at?" You know, and Karma took him there, and they were like bros ever since. To the Flumes.
I could see it. Let's get into the photography. I told you I was like before
you said 5.
Before we get into your top 5 photos, which turned into your top 9.
9.
Let's just get a little background. What was like your first camera and what made you were you one of those guys that was kind of like me, like I'm never going to be good at skateboarding, but I want to be around good skaters?
There you go. You nailed it. You nailed it. You nailed it. It was like going and I toyed with the idea. It wasn't even an idea. It was just a feeling, a vibe, which was started skating, got really into it, took a photography class. My first camera was an Olympus. I forget the model number, and it was I just had a 50 millimeter lens.
Okay.
And that's when I started going downtown with and shooting with. And then I made the infamous fisheye with the peephole. I did that whole thing where it was like you could take a film canister, straight up a black film canister. You cut the bottom off. You go to your hardware store. This is before Home Depot, by the way, because it wasn't around. And you get the peephole, and then you put the peephole on the end. You electrical tape that, and then you electrical tape it around. And then you have to focus like as much. I forget which way, but because it's not going to be totally in focus, obviously. And then so there's no light coming into the lens. And then that was my first fisheye. It was a peephole with a film canister.
No,
but from that
I
was
had
that
to screw on the like the ones for video. I'd put it on my camera one.
Yeah. John Joyner was the filmer. My friend that he had the same thing. Like it was taped on, like straight.
And you'd
up
have
taped
like
on.
the black circle on the outside.
Yep. Oh yeah, and it was like moving. It was kind of always moving. Yeah. So. It was that, and then in order for me to continue to use the darkroom, after I took the photography class, I remember my teacher, he liked me, and he was just like, look, man, if you want access to the darkroom and free film, he's like, sign up to be a photographer for the newspaper and the yearbook staff, and then he's like, you can have all the free film and darkroom that you want.
No way.
But he's like, but you have to get a better camera. So I remember I begged my parents, and they bought me it was a Minolta. With a pop-up flash. And so I was able to I had to shoot all the events at the school. So if there was a football game, a basketball game, or whatever, I had to go do that with this camera. It was all black and white, dude. Everything was black and white. All the film, everything. And so that gave me access. And then So that's what I started submitting to Photo Graffiti with, was that Minolta, and I somehow scored it was like a 24 millimeter lens, so it wasn't fisheye, but it was like wide angle, and that's how it started, Photo Graffiti. And then my whole, then my dad was like, you gotta get a job, so I started working, and saving, dude. That's what I did. I just started saving, and my senior year I bought and this is crazy. The only reason I bought this camera is because it was Thrasher photographer issue. Thrasher did a photographer issue, if you can believe it or not, in like 95 or 4, and was still when Bryce Kanights was there.
Okay.
So it was Bryce, Chris Ortiz. Do you know about this? You look shocked. It's crazy.
It was an article in the mag, like with
it was
Scott
in the
Starr
mag.
And these
yep,
guys.
Scott Starr.
Uh-huh.
Sleeper, who I later found out. Do you know who that is?
No.
Matt Ballard, dude.
Oh shit! Really?
That was Sleeper.
And
I just recently found this out.
Nicknames that people like, aliases. It was pretty.
That's what they did.
Had like 8 of them.
Was it to work at different magazines or something, or is that what they did?
It was just like so it didn't look like you were doing the whole mag. Like back then, people didn't care about like buffering their portfolio. Is more like we got a whole crew, like So it was
got it.
Like Mofo was Mofo, Dick Knoll, Richard Knoll. There was a few.
I've heard these names. Yeah, weird.
Morizon Fauché, like he had all kinds of.
Yeah, so that was. But listen, so the opening spread of the article, there was a camera, and it was a Canon T90. That's what it was. I didn't know anything about cameras. This is before the internet. This is like, I don't know anything.
Yeah.
But all I knew was I had to get a camera that shot flash at 2/50th of a second. Like that was mandatory, and had to be multiple exposure. Like I had to be able to shoot sequences. Had to have a motor drive.
What was it? 3 or 5 frames? Like what was it?
It was 5.
Okay.
So I save up. I order the camera from a shop in Santa Cruz. This is before, it's so hard to believe. They did not have this camera in Visalia. There was no way in hell.
B&H.
No way. So I ordered it like through a magazine. Like they had the ads in the back of the magazine. Called them, made the order, got this camera, and then my grandma and my mom, I remember they were like, okay, for your graduation, we're getting you one thing. And I was just like, I need a fisheye. It was like, I didn't have one. And it was so, again, Visalia, you're not going to find a fisheye lens in Visalia. You're not going to find one in Fresno. So they found it online, got it. So I was set. And then I got the Sunpack. I bought a Sunpack 544. Yeah. And then I had the 2 like slaves with the little light sensor.
I still have that.
The 544?
Yeah, I don't think it works, but I have a few things that I'm a hoarder.
That's rad.
Yeah.
But anyway, then it was just on. That was like, and then Tom Knox was the one that told me, he's like, you have to shoot slide film. I was like, what? And he's like, you got to shoot slide film. I had no idea.
Right.
And that's what it all started. And shooting slide film, for those that was hard, because your exposure has to be perfect, dude. There is no like ducking, dodging in the dark room, with like whatever. Like so that made you be, get better a lot faster. So that's what I did. That's how it started. The Canon T90.
Did you have in the early days, like when you first got the fisheye, did you have trouble with the focus?
I just put it on infinity.
Yeah,
that's what I did every time.
And then had the f-stop like at least 5.6 or 8 or something.
5.6.
Okay. Then you were good.
I was good. 5.6, and then was just at that point I was just messing with flash power, and then I had Folgers cans, coffee Folgers cans. They used to the lids were clear, but like a kind of like a cloudy clear.
Yeah.
And so what I did is I got a few of those and I cut squares perfectly for the 544. Remember, I had an adapter on the front for a diffuser, and I had it perfect. I had 2 that I had taped together, and then I had another like plastic little thing that I put, and it was the perfect amount of like, I had it dialed.
Well, the reason for me that flash was so important and sick was because Bryce and Mofo and the big dogs were using it, right?
Yep, that's what they had.
The stance where you pull it off the camera and hold it, like you just look cooler. Like you don't want your shit on the camera. You're like, I got it.
But listen, dude, that's the one thing. Once I started working at the mag, Luke was the photo editor, he is a huge proponent of on-camera flash. He doesn't do that, dude.
Oh.
He didn't do it.
Okay.
His camera the flash was always on camera.
Well, Luke's
that was it.
Professor.
Yes.
In Luke we trust.
Yeah. He's the best photographer. He's the best skateboard photographer ever.
When they got into Hasselblads and stuff, and then Luke was he ordered this camera from, I think, Paris. There was only 5 of them made in the world, and it was one of those 360-degree cameras, like way before any of this. And Luke was one of the first people with that, and he would take it places and shoot photos and like figuring it out, and he was so into it, and it was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, he was crazy. That upped my game so much, and going in there to the mag and like having to. Another thing that's not talked about, or maybe it has been talked about, is film. Have you guys ever talked about the film?
Mm-mm.
Okay, because Thrasher used Kodak E100. That's what they used, right?
Right.
And before
Tri-X too, right? 125.
Yeah, for black and white.
Yeah.
But before I started getting film from Luke, I was using Fuji. Okay, Fuji Chrome.
More saturated.
Easier to shoot. So much easier to shoot. It was more forgiving.
Okay.
So like, I remember it's like my photos, I had it dialed, man. Things were looking good. I was like, yeah, man. And Luke's like, I'll never forget, he gave me that box of film. And I remember I got home and I called Tim. I called everyone. I go, dude, I have like 30 rolls of film. Let's go. And like, I'm shooting everything. Just like, same setup, sunny day, 5.6, whatever, flash at quarter power, whatever. Got it. And I took that film to the mat. It came back. Nothing turned out. Nothing. Nothing. And I was like, what the? You know what I mean? What is going on here? Like, I'm talking nothing came out. Whoa. I called Luke. I was like, hey, man, it's Nick. So that film you gave me, I don't think it. He's like, no, man. Like, you just didn't shoot it right, And I was like, yeah, but same settings. He's like, no. This film is different. You got to be like. It's got to be like on the money, dude.
Right.
And I was like, what? And so I had to change everything. I changed everything. And that's the one thing. During the day or like sunset kind of vibe, that film is incredible. But at night, it sucks. Mm-hmm. It's terrible. It's not. I don't know what it was, but it just did not look good at night. So I just started changing everything up. I just started shooting everything in the day, or sunset.
Well, I was taught that like at night or indoors, you just went with black and white.
Huh.
And at night, like you could use like the 3200 black and white and not even use a flash.
Not use a flash,
sometimes, for sequences or whatever. It was like,
yeah, I would always push the film. I would always like.
We loved the 3200 for some reason.
Yeah, it was so grainy. It's so grainy.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it was, you always had to shoot that at Burnside. If you were shooting black and whites at Burnside at no flat, I would always I'd push the film to whatever. And, in those low light situations.
You just influenced somebody.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into this, favorite photos that you've taken. I'm really interested in to see, it looks like the list is, pretty obvious. The local.
I had to keep it local.
I know. I noticed there's no Alan Peterson in there, right?
I tried to get him in there, and I was like, nah. I mean, I could do a 10.
What about Ryan Johnson? You ever shoot with him?
All the time, yeah.
But he didn't make the cut.
He didn't make the cut. It's fave photos. No. I mean, almost.
Okay. Well, who do we want to start with?
Okay, number 1 is Richard Paez. That's the cover.
Okay.
1999.
Yeah. And you just were in the mag just this month.
Yeah, I did.
We're talking about this, right?
Yeah, I wrote. Yeah, it's so amazing.
Is this the same ramp that Jason skating in the photo?
No. So I'll get to that story.
So where's this ramp?
This is in Visalia. It was off of Ben Maddox. It was kind of the north side of town. This kid, I can't remember his name. He built this ramp and he just let us skate out there. And again, this is why I like these photos. That's why I kind of chose them. Is that there is no video footage of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is just us going to the ramp, drinking some beers, and skating.
Look at his eyes.
Exactly. That's why Jake picked it. I asked him like years later. I go, why did you? It's just a nollie. He's like, look at his eyes.
Uh-huh.
He's just like in it. He's so
like
literally
Cardiel, like the eyes. Look at the eyes.
Yeah, right. So literally, I shot 2 photos. That's it. I shot 2. So there's this one, and then there's another one, and that was it. He did it twice, and that was it. And then I remember I got the photos back from the lab. I was in Visalia, and I just put them in an envelope, like just like a little envelope, like whatever, and just threw them in there. Didn't think much of it. I knew they looked good, and whatever. And then I see Richard like a month later, and he's like, "Hey man," he's like, "Did you send some photos of me to Thrasher?" I was just like, "Oh yeah, you know." I was always sending pictures. I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, I saw Fausto in the hallway, and he just came up to me and he shook my hand. He's all, 'Congratulations.'" And Richard's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" You know? And he just like, Fausto just walked off. And Richard's just like totally perplexed. And he's like, "I don't know, man." Like, and then a couple weeks later, he's like, he went and hung out with Joey Trichet, and Joey's just like, "Man, congratulations." And Richard's like, what are you talking about here? You know? No one knew. I was like, well, I don't know. And then Luke called me. He's like, "You need some film?" And I was just like, "No, I'm good." And he's like, "You see the new mag yet?" And I said, "No." What? You know?
I'm in Visalia, dude.
Yeah. He said, "Good." And I said, "Okay, what the, you know?" I'm just trying to, you know, back then, you know, once you make that decision of like, I'm going to be a photographer, you're just hoping you get a couple, everything you get paid, you know, remember it was like, took months. So it was like 3 months, you know how it was. So you try to get as many pictures as you can in the mag all the time. So you always get a check or whatever.
Right.
So I'm just like hoping like, oh, maybe I got a photo in there. You know, that's what I'm thinking. And I swear to God, Richard calls me up and he goes, "Get over here to my house." He's like, "Come over here." He's like, "I'm on the cover of Thrasher and you shot the photo." And I was like, what? You know? And I just like, I had a bike and I went to the liquor store. I got a 6-pack. And he lived with his mom, Tina. I went over there and I'll never forget. We just walked in his room and there it was. He had 2 and it was just sitting on his coffee table. And we just like opened the beers up and we just stared at it. We just stared at it.
Fuck yes. Was that the only cover you ever had?
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Dude.
That's it.
And so how sick that it was kind of the first guy you started.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I wrote about in the book. It's like it's like full circle. It's like a, you know, and again, I remember talking to, once I was on staff and it'd been like 3 years since I shot that, and I was like, man, I think I saw him at Burnside. I was drinking. I was like, "Jake, I want another cover." And Jake was like, "You don't want another cover." He said that.
Just
and you know one. What? But he was right in this weird this for forever. This is the only one I ever had, and it's like he was right. He's right. You know. Should we go to the second one?
That's what Navarrete said about winning the combi. He won it 1 year, and his name was up on the above how they put the winners every year in the little banners. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I only want one. Like it feels way special to have that one. You know?
Yeah, he's right.
If you're Chris Miller, get it every year, it might just be like fucking cereal or whatever. You know? Like
and then also the pressure's on. It's like if you do it all the time, then like you got to do it again. You got to do it again. You know, and keep thinking of different things like what could be a good cover. And I just, you know, again, what I love about, I'm looking at it right now, it's just that it was totally natural. It was just, we went skating. That's it. Nothing else.
Was there any photo incentive, like Consolidated, Thunder, any of these things that he's got on the?
Oh, he got paid. We went and partied. Yeah.
Oh, he did.
We got paid. Yeah, he got paid. He got paid more than I did.
Okay,
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Volcom hooked him up. I remember because he had all those stickers.
Yeah, nice.
So yeah, we went. Yeah, we partied, dude.
And real quick before we go on, do you know who gave him the Hamburger Jr. nickname?
I think it was Jason Jesse.
Yep.
Oh, it was?
I think so. Or it's Jake.
It was Jake or Jason? Okay, good. I'll ask Jason.
Well, you know Jake, Richard punched Jake in the face. You know this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Broke his glasses.
That was...
In Europe. This was early on, you know, very early.
Because he was just fucking with him?
Yeah, he said, hey, he goes, "What's up, Hamburger Jr.?" And Richard just turned around and goes, bam. And then Richard told me he saw him the next day, and Jake's like on the vert ramp. You know, they were in Germany. He's like on the vert ramp skating, and he's like, "Yeah, Richard," and he's like showed his glasses and he had like tape all over him.
Yes. Okay, let's go to number 2.
Okay, number 2 is, I'm trying to keep it all on like now that I have him. So the second one is Jesse Pye, his brother.
So this kind of chronological order?
Well, not timeline wise. It's
okay.
This is before. This is the second photo I ever had in Thrasher.
Wow.
And it was my first photo that was it was a full page. It was just a full page photo.
That looks like
the ollie into that ramp.
That looks like a Dandra Hobel board with bunnies fucking.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it.
Oh.
And this is right when he got on Think. So Jesse went through a little period there where, he was writing for Consolidated, and then they gave him the boot.
Right.
And he was down, dude.
Yeah.
You didn't see him around that much. And then he was like a new dad. He was a dad like really early on.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew how insanely good he was, but you wouldn't see him around. And then he gets on Think, and then boom. Now he's like, he was on fire.
Next thing you know, he's got an Escalade.
Yeah, he had the Escalade. But dude, I'm telling you, man, like he would just show up at the ramp like this, and there is no video footage of this. None. He just was skating.
Is this Madera? Where
Visalia.
is
this is Visalia.
Indoors.
There was a warehouse. There was a very short-lived mail order, skate mail order. It was called SSBS.
Okay.
And there was a ramp out there. I worked there answering phones for a while. Dale Blackman was like the head of shipping. He worked out there for years. Or for as long as it was around. I mean, it was around for like a year and a half or something, 2 years.
Uh-huh.
But they had a ramp. So we'd go out there, and that's from random skate session.
I got a critique.
The Flash.
Yeah.
You see the Flash in the background. But you have to remember, at this time, it was cool to have the Flash in the background, dude.
It was either have the Flash or have Anthony Claraval. All Joe Brooks photos had Anthony Claraval in the background film.
That's right. This is kind of, again, you have to remember, like, I didn't grow up around other skate photographers, you know what I mean? So, like, my only, I'm just looking at the pictures in the magazine. I have no idea what dudes are doing, what settings. I have no idea.
Yeah.
So I thought that having your flash in the photo was part of the thing. Like, that's what you wanted. I thought
it was cool. Like sometimes making the streaks too, right?
Yeah. I thought it was part of, I go, oh, you have to have the flash in the background.
Right.
So that's why it's there. That's not, you can critique it all I want, but at the time, this is fine, dude. Okay. This is fine. This is fine.
Is that slide?
Oh yeah. All these. Yeah.
Okay.
You can tell, I mean, the color, but this is Fuji. This is Fujichrome. This isn't Kodak. But you can tell the difference. So look at the one at Richard, that's Kodak. And this is Fujichrome right here. So you can, the saturation, there's more greens in it.
Right.
It's just kind of like I don't know. It was easier to shoot. I'll say that.
Okay.
Timeline. So then let's go.
Number 3.
So number 3's got to be, I want to do 3 and 4 at the same time, actually, because these are both very special photos to me. So
no rules.
Jason Jesse, number 3. Frontside ollie.
All right.
But this is not in order of like the best photos. This is just kind of like.
No. These are some of your 9 favorite, and in no particular order.
No particular order.
Fun fact about this Jason Jesse photo, I have 3 skate photos on my wall in my house. This is one of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
This one means a lot to me because it's how I became a staff photographer. This is what did it.
No way.
This one of Jason and Salman, they were taken literally maybe 3 days apart. And you can look at them. If you look at them at the same time, they were taken probably like 3 days apart.
Same roll?
Not the same roll, no.
Okay.
So what happened, the story behind these is, God, that one of Salman's good too.
I love this.
God.
Is that Salman and Visalia?
No, Fresno. So this one, Salman's living in Fresno. Okay. So this is all with a Canon T90. Remember that. Canon T90, okay? Luke does not know what camera I use, okay? Up until this point, he does not know. He doesn't. And so I go into the office, and Luke goes, because I was living in San Jose. I moved up to San Jose. And because I was like, I want to do this. I got to try to be a photographer of Thrasher. I got to do this. So I moved up there. I was living in Aaron Harrison.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was so fun, dude. I love San Jose. I know it gets a bad rap, but I don't know. I had a lot of fun there. Anyway, yeah, I had a lot of fun, dude. Yeah. Anyway, so Jake goes, I need photos. We're doing 20th anniversary issue. Remember?
Yeah.
Thrasher. And this is like the year before. This is like 2000 summer maybe. He's like, I need photos of Karma, I need Salman, I need Jason Jesse. And I was just like, okay, Salman, Karma, I got it. I can do this. Jason, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I mean, he's not present, you know what I mean, at the time.
Yeah.
He was still at Consolidated, I think, because that's how he had his little office up there.
With the snakes.
But, yeah. It was very small. It was very small. Anyway, so I go, Karma, we go on a mission. Karma kills it, dude. And then, so I drive to Fresno. I get Salman, Backsmith. I think we shot something else too. And then it was like 2 days later, literally, like I finally get a hold of Jason, and Jake had been calling him too, because Jake's like, we need a photo of you. And Jason's like, I don't want to do this. And so I'm calling him, and he's like, and I remember Jason was like, Jake really wants me to do this, huh? And I said, you have to do it. Like, you have to do it. And he's like, all right. So I drive out there to, I think it was like Watsonville or something. I don't remember exactly where.
Aptos, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. It was out there. We go, and, you know, I'd never really hung out with them that much, but it was a lot of fun. We drove around in some, like, ragtag truck. I don't even know how it functioned. It was like the doors didn't even, it was crazy. But we just drove, dude. I just remember laughing a lot and just being like, this is so bizarre. It was so bizarre. And we're driving, dude, through like fields and like, I don't know where we're going, dude. And at one point I'm like, he's just messing with me, dude. We're not even going skating. And then we pull up to this house, and this dude comes out. He's like, what's up? And I was like, where? He's like, all right, no, Jason's like, yeah, there's something in the back, you know, whatever. And I was like, all right. And there's this huge ramp. It's all pool coping. And I'm like, where the hell am I, dude? Like, I have no idea. And Jason's definitely in this mode of just like, he's just like over it, you know? But I'm like, I gotta get him to do this. And I'm not very good at ramp. Like, I will come out and say that I suck, but I was like, I have to skate. I'm not gonna not skate. So, you know, I got the coping a few times, you know, whatever, just a couple 50-50s. And then, like, I see him, and he's skating. And I was like, I just got my gear out, set up. And he does a couple, like, bonk, like, frontside ollies on the extension and just throws his board away. And I was like, I think that'd be pretty cool. You know, if you want to, he's like, really? And I was like, yeah. Just, you know, I was trying to make it as easy as I could for him. Because he definitely seemed like he was in, like, a funk. And I was like, I go, man, it looks great. Let's do it. And I just put all I did is I put my little slave flash in the corner on the deck with the light thing, you know, the light sensor, just sitting over there. Nothing fancy. Had the Canon T90, off camera flash, holding it up in the air above the head. And he probably did maybe 5 or 6. And it was like, I'll never forget how quiet it was. It was like, he doesn't hit his tail. Just kind of like, and then just back in.
And he sucks it up.
Yeah. It's a weird, like, boom, and then, boom. And I just remember getting down in there, you know, and again, I was just trying to make it as easy as possible for him. And he did 5 or 6, and you know, when he lands, he's just like, you know what I mean? And he hits the cup, and then boom. And it's really amazing to watch, man.
It is.
And then we were done. I was like, I got it. I think I got it. He's like, we're done? Cool. Let's go. Let's get out of here. And then we just got his truck. And, you know, he was just funny, you know, and then dropped me off at my truck, and I shook his hand, and, you know, I remember thinking, like, I was just, because I was really nervous, too, you know, like, when Jake's like, we need this.
Right.
And so I'm, like, thinking, like, I mean, it's a frontside ollie on a mini ramp, you know, like, I mean, I guess it's okay, but I got him to do it, and I just drove home, and the next morning I woke up, and I had the film of Karma, film of Salman, and the film of, I hadn't seen the pictures.
Yeah.
Just the rolls. And I just went and I put them on Luke's desk. And I said, there, that's it. I go, that's Karma, that's Salman, that's Jason Jesse. And Jake's like, shook my hand. He's like, all right, you know, whatever. And then I went, and I probably hung out with Karma or something. And I went back to San Jose the next day. You know, a couple days go by. Remember, you got to process the film. It takes a minute.
Yeah. And
so then, this is a true story. Like, it's the same thing, like you were saying, 6:30 in the morning, 7 in the morning, you know, ting, my landline phone in my little room in San Jose. And I'm like, what the And I get off my little bed, and I go over. I'm like, hello? And he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, Jake? He's like, get to the mag now. He's like, get in here now. And I was just like, what? Okay. He's like, just get, and famous like click. And I was like, oh my God. And I'm just thinking like, okay, I'm in trouble. Like they got the film back and something, So I jump in the shower, get my pickup, and it's like 40-minute drive, on the 280 or whatever up.
Yeah.
Smoking. I probably smoked a pack of cigarettes on the way there. Like so nervous, man. Anyway, I get in there, walk up the stairs, see him down the hallway. He points at me. He points at me and he just motions like this. Get over here. I go down there and they just installed that little light board out in the middle. Do you remember the light? Because there used to be a light box in Luke's station to look at photos. So they put a light table out there.
Yeah.
And usually I had to go in and cut the film up. I would have to cut everything up and sleeve it, and then I would go through it. I look on the light table and there's 4 or 5 neg. They're already cut up. They're putting it, and there's red boxes. And I was like, what the? And he pulls one out, puts it on the thing, and he goes, that would have been the cover if we hadn't just given you one a couple months ago. And I was like, what? And it was Jason Jesse, Frontside Ollie.
Oh.
And I remember just looking down in the loop, and I was like, oh my God, that looks insane, And then there's the one of Salman right there, all right there.
Oh.
And then Jake goes, we're putting you on staff today.
Because it kind of looks like the Richard Paez. It's a fisheye, it's a ramp. Like, I get that.
That's why it was just like...
What they like to call the guy in the sky.
Yeah, yeah, it's perfect, yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was the day he put me on. I was a staff photographer that day. And then they gave me a check for... I'd done, because I was broke, dude. I was just, you remember? You were just trying to like, and they gave me a check for like 3 months of photos I'd done. They put me on staff that day, and I was emotional. I was emotional, dude. I was like, that's it, I'm on. And so that's what both of those photos mean to me. The one of Jason is insane.
Yeah.
And then later, I was like, when I moved to LA, I was like, literally like, I don't even have this photo. I was getting bearings or wheels at a skate shop, and I saw the Ramp Plans book. I had no idea that it was on the cover. I had no idea. I was like, oh my God, it did get the cover.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
That was a special day, man. Special day. Okay, so, sorry, I'm probably taking too long.
No, not at all.
And then we got to go to Dale.
All right.
Blackman.
Blackman.
With the Visalia shirt.
Okay, Backsmith.
Yep. This was I'm going off course here. This is before.
This is at the same place Jesse had the cover.
Yeah, same place.
Okay.
You got it. This is going to, I'm like changing the vibe here. This ran in Slap, dude.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Was this your demise?
No.
Oh, okay.
There was no demise of me.
You got a
no
photo
demise.
and Slap. You're out of here.
This is before.
I told you don't go downstairs.
This is before I met him. This is before.
Oh
this
shit.
Is before.
Okay.
Yeah, the one of Jesse awing in. That's before I met Jake. I'd never met him before.
Got it.
This one of Dale. Never met him. Never met Jake. Okay, so I'm in the clear here, dude. Okay. I had not gotten any. This is Fujichrome.
Well, this is a tight ass Visalia shirt.
It is one of my favorite photos because of that. It's it just spells out like, that's Dale, and Dale's a legend of Visalia, man. He's got to be in one of my favorite photos. He has to be. Yeah. And this was a full page in Slap. It was I did like a little Visalia article. Lance ran it, and it was rad.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Okay, so let's go. Okay, now we got to get to Karma.
Ooh, big snaps.
Yep. This is a huge one for me, too, because Karma was going through we were on tour. It was a U.S. tour.
Uh-huh.
And now this is post-Canon T90. Now we can move into post-Canon T90, because Luke Ogden finds out that I have a Canon T90, and he got mad at me. He goes, what are you doing? Because... You have to remember, dude, I grew up in Visalia. I don't know what a Nikon. I don't know. I don't. So Luke's like, I shot some sequences of Caswell's for the Caswell Berry interview. Remember that? Mm-hmm. And they ran all my sequences. And he's like, man, these are great. He's like, Nick, you need new batteries. You have to put new batteries in your motor drive. Every time you're going to like shoot sequences, it's got to be as fast as possible. I was like, I do, man, I do. And Luke was like, well, what camera are you using? I go, it's a Canon T90. He goes, what? What? like pissed. I'd never seen him pissed. He was mad, dude. He's like, oh my, and and so here's what he did, straight up. He's like, no. And this is right when he got into the Hasselblad, medium format game. He goes, he's like, I'm gonna let you borrow. It was a Nikon F5. He's like, I'm gonna let you borrow this. And I was like, what is this? You know what I mean? And he's just like, he's like, but you need to go buy a fisheye. So I went and got a fisheye with Jai Tanju. I went with Jai. I was like, I got to get a fisheye. And he was trying to get me one of he's like, you got to get the cheap one. And I was like, nope. If Luke's giving, I got to go all in. I got to get the Nikon fisheye, it blew my whole check. It was like, screw it.
Yeah.
But dude, then this is the game changed. Like this photo of Karma, like the clarity, it's just a different image to me when I look at it. It's like.
This is shot on a Nikon?
This is a Nikon F5, yeah.
Oh, the F5 was the staple, right?
That was the staple.
Yeah.
And so that's what it's shot on. This is in Minneapolis. It was on tour, a consolidated U.S. tour. What's so rad about this photo is that you don't see in the picture. It's just Karma was like, he had bone spurs in his foot, in his ankle. He had to have surgery, man. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
After this tour. So every time he'd go skate, dude, his foot would like balloon, like so gigantic. Like that whole tour, he had ice bags on his feet. It was just him and Alan. And so Alan Peterson was basically like drinking like vodka, like those Smirnoff drinks to get him through this. He was like drinking Smirnoff and drinking like, and taking, I don't know what, like, I think it was like Percocet, some crazy pill, like pain pills. These dudes were like in pain, dude. These guys were, and they were like maybe 30. Think about that.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were doing demos every day. And so anyway, the one of Karma, that's an F5, and it just means a lot to me. I don't know. Karma's a really good friend, man. And that's just one of my favorite photos of all time. It's just so sick.
Yeah. Super cool.
I got the flash up. I think Steve Nesser was holding the flash up top.
All right.
Yep. Steve took us there.
Shout out to Familia.
Yeah.
All right.
So I think it was either Steve or Seth. Someone was holding the flash over here, and then I had the other flash. So it's just two flashes, and I think Karma might have done it 2 or 3 times. This is actually on film. It is on film. But this was a big deal, man. He did this. He was flying down that hill.
Oh,
that's a sick one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, I'm going on and on and on.
No, this is good.
Okay, next one is Tim Garner, who is, do you know Tim?
Of course.
Raggy? Okay.
Yeah.
This was my roommate for years, right when I graduated high school. I have more photos of Tim than anybody.
Tim, I hope this isn't a diss, but to me, Tim, and he, like when you look at Tim, you're like, that's what Visalia is.
Yep. He nailed it.
He's just like that dude, like
yep.
A little cowboy, a little rugged, fucking probably some chew, like you know what I mean?
And a cigarette,
yeah. And he's fucking badass skater, like for sure.
Yeah, he was.
Wherever you are, Tim, I haven't seen you in probably 20 years, but big ups.
Yeah, I just talked to him. He's good, man. He's all right. Okay. It's just I wish more good things happened to him. It breaks my heart. Yeah, you just nailed it, man. He encompassed Visalia like 100%. It's crazy.
This full pipe, where was this?
This is in Fresno. Alan Peterson took us there.
Dude, it looks so
middle of the night.
Perfect. Well, how big was it, you think? Like 15?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, 15?
Yeah,
14?
Okay. Looks good.
So Jai, I was like, I can't afford a Nikon F5. And so Jai had Thomas Campbell's old camera, which was a Nikon F4.
Okay.
That didn't work. It didn't work. And Jai's like, I'm going to give you this camera. But he's like, and whatever it costs to fix, I don't know how much it's going to cost, but if you ever need to get rid of this, you can't sell it. You have to give it back to me. You know? I was like, okay, deal. Took it to a shop, and it cost like $350 to fix. And so that was my camera, which I still have. Thomas Campbell's old camera. And this is what was shot on a Nikon F4.
What do you think if you remember or guesstimate, what are we talking shutter speed and f-stop on this one?
Oh, wow. Definitely going to go f6. I mean, 5.6, which was the standard, because there's a little bit of movement in the grass.
30th.
Because there's, 30th, 15th, maybe 15th of a second.
Right.
No tripod. I love this photo so much because this was I feel like I was at I'd hate to say this word, but the pinnacle of like my photography. I was really seeing it. This picture turned out exactly how I imagined it in my head.
That's
like
cool.
I was like, I was like, I need to catch him in between those two bars. See how those two bars are? I need to get him in there.
Yeah.
I need to light up the rest of the tube. So I had the flash over there. And I need to have no shadows on him because Luke was big on that. No shadows. He's like, no.
Man.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Hey,
Bro.
How many times did Luke go to Glory Hole with Alan Peterson for that cover photo?
I went there with them for the cover. I was there.
They went at least 3 times.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 3 times. We rode out there.
He was so hyped on getting the flash rings.
Yeah. Oh my god.
It came out sick.
Right.
Though. Yeah.
It sounded amazing. It was. I mean, it looked amazing. Yeah. Yeah. That was a mission. I remember.
All right. Yeah. So wait, we got 2 more or 1 more?
Let me see here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, you got Tom Knox still.
Okay, so I got to do Tom. I mean, there's no real.
Is this a vagabond? No way.
No, this is the Ghost Bowl, which is in Visalia. So after I quit Thrasher, I was like doing music, and after like a year and a half or 2, it was not really working out great. So obviously, I picked up the camera again and was shooting, and this is one of them. This is F4, Nikon F4.
Okay.
This is at the Ghost Bowl.
We got a Madonna.
I just love this photo. Yeah, it's a Madonna. It's a Madonna, and this was never printed. This was never printed anywhere because Luke and the whole crew came, and he shot a photo of Tom, and they ran it.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, dude. When I heard they were like, Luke's in town, I was like, oh no, my photo's not going to get used.
Don't take him to the pool.
And they went.
Yeah.
They went. So I don't know. I mean, there's no real great backstory with that. It's just I just love that photo. And it's Tom.
Does Tom Knox smoke weed, or did he at this time?
No.
His eyes are pretty blazed.
Yeah, not at all.
That's just typical Tom.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Is he in kickbox form yet, or in a band? What era?
He's like
Tom Knox?
He's in a band at this point.
He's in a band.
He's not really.
Is it like rockabilly? What was the band?
Yeah. He's playing drums.
Okay.
For them. He's not in the jiu-jitsu yet, but yeah, he's doing that. And the Santa Cruz has started back up. They're giving him like a
legend boards.
So he's hyped. I went out with him a few times. He was hyped, and
rad.
I don't know. It was I had to put him in there as my top 9 because it just he really helped me out in the beginning, man. Tom Knox is shout out to Tom Knox, bro.
Shout out.
Hell yeah! And if you're listening, man. Tom, we're down. Come on to the podcast, my friend. Let's go.
Yeah.
Sick, dude. That was a first for me. Running through. I like this. I think it's a good one. I want to get more photographers and do little like backgrounds on their photos.
Yeah, you should, man.
That was fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Would you consider yourself more inspired by Diane Arbus or Ansel Adams? Are you more of like a people portrait guy or more of an outdoor nature guy?
Oh, people portraits.
Like outside of skateboarding, you know?
Yeah, portraits. But again, I don't. Yeah, I mean, no, people.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever you said the first one, I'm sorry, I'm not familiar.
Diane
with
Arbus, you should check her out. She's great.
Yeah, way more. Like my favorite photographer as a kid was Tobin. That was my favorite photographer, and it was like you just got that feeling like you were there with these dudes. And he shot my favorite skaters. Right? He's like shooting. You're the best. So you're like, this is the best dude. But then start working at the mag. Seeing Luke's photos right next to yours, you're
Tobin
like,
learned
whoa.
from this guy named Luke.
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
But they all understudied Bryce. It just the lineage is. The funniest thing for me is I interviewed Mofo, and it just still to this day echoes in my ear that he's just like, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Just like you're saying, he's like, I got a camera and I just started pointing it and shooting photos. Like I didn't know what f-stop to use. I didn't know. Nobody had done. No one was telling me anything. So he's like, I kind of just learned in the process. Like, and a lot of us have done that.
There's no right or wrong at skateboarding.
That's it. It's the only way to do it, I think. It's the same thing with music. This music is the same thing. It's like you get a 4-track and you're just like, I don't know. Whoa. What's this microphone do? I don't know. Yeah.
I think that's why, like, one of my pet peeves is I can see formulas and things that people do, and it bugs me. Like, if you say every time, like, moving forward, blah, 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 and you just start these things, in my head, I'm like, you don't even know what you're saying. You're just like telling me this because you learned it in college or some study.
And that's sadly, that's happening a lot in art now and music and stuff. I'm seeing is like,
so when photography came, everybody's like, oh, I want to be like Gabe Morford. And you're like, dude, there's already a Gabe Morford.
Right.
The NorCal legend.
He's great. But if you're trying to be him, it's just a secondary Gabe Morford.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be the best you.
Yeah.
And take some of what he did. Like, you know, everybody takes a little bit of this and that, and they have their own salad, you know?
People figure out what they like. They don't know why.
Right. You got it. You nailed it.
That's what I would encourage people to do. Not try to like be the next Jason Hernandez or Ty Evans or Luke Ogden or whoever. It's like, take these people, see what they're doing, get stoked on what it is that they are doing, and then make your own, you know, figure out who you are and get your idea.
Yeah, you nailed it. And who's that? Strobeck is the guy. It's like once his video came out, it's like everyone was doing this same
now
long lens
zooming
thing.
in onto the face. It's like,
I was like, oh no, here we go. The same thing happens in music, man. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's so interesting that you say that, because that you just kind of nailed my feeling of why I decided to just be like, I want to do music, because I felt like I had more of a voice or something that way. Whereas like I saw Luke's photos every day and I was like, my God. And yeah, Gabe, like Lance Dawes, you know, Atiba, Jesus, his photos, they're insane, you know? And I'm just like, what am I going to do? Like, how am I, you know? But with music, I just felt like more of it made more sense to me. It made more sense, like, that I could have my own voice in this, like, thing over here. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Let's get into the music. When did you said you were in high school doing stuff, but like, what was your first band?
The first band I was in was called Out of Tune.
Okay.
It was 8th grade. I was the drummer. We just played instrumental songs.
Locals in Visalia?
Oh yeah, local, yeah.
Okay.
8th grade, and then I was in a ska band, dude, in high school.
Yes.
We were pretty good, dude. Like, we were pretty good.
We
opened up for the
Madness.
Specials.
Oh, way.
Yeah, in Fresno.
Okay.
And this band called Let's Go Bowling. We used to open for them.
I've heard of them.
Yeah. We were good, dude. We had a horn section.
And you played drums?
I played drums, and I stole the horn players from the jazz band. I was like, because they were all kind of, you know, no offense, they were dorks. And I was like, you want to come and hang out and smoke cigs and drink some beer over here? And they're like, yeah. And so I like conformed these guys to, like, you know, be, you know, we were kind of like troublemakers, and we were good. I'm no exaggeration, man. We were good, dude. But we had a van and everything, and I wanted to like hit the road, like, let's go, you know. And everyone wanted to stay around town, and that's when I just moved away. I was like, well, and then the band but that's when I got a 4-track. That's when that whole thing started.
When did you get a 4-track? In high school?
No, right after high school.
Okay.
I was probably 19, I think.
And so
20.
That's when you kind of started focusing on trying to learn how to play every instrument.
So, yeah.
So you could create your own music.
Yeah, I became obsessed. It was because I grew up playing drums, and when you're a drummer, people just want to jam. You know what I mean? They just want to like, let's jam, dude.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And at first you're just like, and you play a song for like 20 minutes and just listen to some hack on like learning how to play guitar, like do solos. You're just like, I'm over this, dude. Like, I want to start and a finish, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's how it started. It was like, I'm just going to teach myself how to play everything else, you know? And it wasn't like you were saying, like I'm going to go on this, you know, on this book and learn how to do this. It was literally like, I hear a song in my head. In order to make that song, I need to learn how to do these things. And it was just like figuring it out, like straight up. Like, I knew chords, and it came from that. But the biggest key to all of it was the piano. That was the one thing I was like, I got to learn that. And so I bought my first piano from Thrasher.
What?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Was it from Ryan Henry?
No. It was from Fausto, man. I bought it from Fausto.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow, that's cool. Do you still have it?
No, sadly. It fell apart, and I gave it to this other band who's actually like a really big band now because they needed it like years ago. I had no more room for it.
Wow.
And it might still exist. It was tiny. It was like 52 keys. So it was like you could pick it up, but it still had real strings. It was a real piano, dude.
No way.
And I walk into the lobby, and this is when I was like, and Jake doesn't know I play music, dude, and I'm not going to tell him. Okay?
Yeah.
But so I'm coming in like hungover. I would stay up so late, like 4-tracking in my room. So I come in, I walk in the lobby, and there's this little piano against the wall, and I was like, what the? And I play it, and I go, and Mark Whiteley comes out of the room. I was like, what's up, Mark? I go, whose piano is this? He's like, I don't know. I'm thinking the same thing. And he's like, looks kind of cool, kind of want it. And I was like, I just remember going, no, this is mine. I'm getting this piano. So I immediately, it's just like, I ran up the stairs. I was trying to be cool, but I was like, I have to get that piano. Like, I have to get it. And so the secretary, I can't remember who worked there at the time. And I was just like, whose piano is that? And she's like, I don't know. And I asked someone else, and someone was like, I think it's Fausto's piano. And I was like, okay, I've never met him. Yeah. And so I go and I knock on every door, and I finally get down there. And I said, Jake. He's like, where's the and I go, whose piano is that? And he's like, piano? Who fucking cares about a piano, And I was just like, whose is he? I think he's probably Fausto's or whatever. And I go, where's his office? And Jake looks at me like, what? What are you doing? I go, just tell me where it is. And I just go back there and I just knock on the door. He's like, come on in. I go in there, and there he is. And I was like, is that your piano down there? He's like, it is. It was for my kid, my son. I want him to learn piano. He doesn't want to play it. And I was like, I want it. I want that. Is it Tony? I think it might be Tony's piano.
Tony. Wow.
I go, I want that piano. I'd love to have it, He's like, well, how much you want to give? How much money? And I go, I'll give you $100. He's like, deal. And I swear to God, I ran out of there. This is before ATM, I had to go get cash out of the ATM, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Jake's like, where are you going? And I'm gone, dude.
This fucking guy is playing a piano now.
Piano. So I get in my pickup, and I'm like looking get the ATM, get the money, come back. I'm back in there, like, because I know Mark Whiteley's like wants this, and I'm like, this dude, no, this guy's not getting this thing. So I go and I knock on the door, and I go, here you go. And he gave me a whole story about the piano. He was like, I bought this off a guy that was a street player in New York City. And he would because you could pick it up, had 2 handles on it.
Wow.
You needed kind of 2 people, but so anyway, I swear to God,
dude,
I shook his hand, and he was just like, told me a little story, and I go, okay, I'm out of here. And I get Luke. I go, Luke, can you help me get this in the back of my pickup? And he's like, yeah. And Jake's like, what the fuck? And I was like, see ya. And I just took it home. I put it in the back, and that was it. And I just taught myself how to play piano, or recorded a whole album with that thing, dude, on a 4-track.
No way. So learning the piano was key.
Key, dude, key.
Did it help you understand music? Why was it key?
Because I think I grew up playing drums, and piano's a very percussive instrument. So playing the guitar is rough, dude. It's hard. There's so many strings to make a chord, but when all you need to do is find the root note on your left hand, the bass, and then pick out the chord on the right, and then it just opened everything up. That was a game changer, getting the piano.
I don't know what the hell I'm doing on a keyboard.
It's not as hard as you think.
But I see people sit down like Axl Rose, and he's just singing and going like this. I'm like, is he really playing? It seems harder than he's making it look. Yeah.
It becomes second nature because, again, it's so percussive. It's like you're playing the beat, so it's kind of like it's all one thing.
It is almost like drums, where you're doing a rhythm with one hand and filling in with the other. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
So yeah, that was the game. That was the game changer.
And did you end up playing with Karma at all in AM Magic?
Yeah. I played. Then and then I bought a Rhodes piano off Chris Pastras.
Oh shit.
Yeah, for $150, which is insane.
Uh-huh.
And started playing that with AM Magic, and that experience was insane too, because then I learned how to play the piano. I was just the side guy, bass.
So it was Karma, and Doug Sands, right?
Doug Sands and Mike Alexis, Karma's roommate.
Uh-huh.
And so we played out a lot in SF, dude.
Yeah, I saw you at Hotel Utah.
Yeah, I used to play there.
Yeah.
Karma would drink it. He would get, but it was a lot of fun, dude. But I learned, that's how I basically learned how to start playing all the instruments. And then I would just go home and just I just became obsessed, and I just felt way more comfortable making music than I did with photos, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like you said, that really made sense. It's like you don't want to be another Gabe Morford or Luke. It's like you kind of find your own voice. And music just made way more sense to me. It was like, I'm doing this.
Who were like some of your big influences at that time? Like, who were you listening
to? Music?
Yeah.
I was listening to a ton of Built to Spill.
Modest Mouse or no?
Yeah, a little bit. Radiohead, a ton of Radiohead, dude.
But Built to Spill was Doug Marsh, big one?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Big time. I was like, big time. Again, Quasi was another one. I don't know if you ever listened. Quasi was a big one. Watching them play changed my life. And then Pavement, of course. But then when I started making my own music, I got way more into like David Bowie, the Beatles, can't help it. Yeah. And then like kind of obscure stuff, like, this is going to sound weird, but there was some like Peter Gabriel solo records. Wow. I started listening to like solo artists.
Okay.
And that's what kind of started and then John Lennon's Plastic Ono Band was kind of on nonstop rotation for me.
Sick.
That was the beginning.
Okay, Paul Simon or Leonard Cohen?
Paul Simon, sorry.
Paul Simon, huh? All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I was a little okay, so when's like when's your first solo project?
So during that whole like all 2001, I start making I basically started going out a lot more to watch bands. I just got really into like watching bands, and I just remember going to the bottom of the hill a lot and just being like, I think I could. And there was a lot of solo acts at that time, like dudes coming out with like just under their own name, not like a band.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember thinking like, I think I could do this.
I could see you doing this.
I think I could do this. And so I started making tapes of my 4-track stuff. And I remember like driving around, like going to shoot photos with like Caswell, all the dudes in San Jose, and like I would be like, hey, what do you think of this tape? What do you think? Like Caswell, Barry, you know?
Yeah.
Before he was like Toy Machine, you know, he was still like the kid, you know, he just cut off his ponytail. Just right after he'd cut it off.
Okay.
So, but yeah, and they were like, dude, this is rad. They were like, this is rad. And then I would give tapes to Karma and them, and I just started like, and then I gave it tape, I think it was to Jeff Clint, and he had his own label called Future Farmer.
Right.
And they were like, I remember I saw the other dude, Dennis, at a show at Bottom of the Hill, and he goes, man, we've really been digging your album. I was like, rad, you know? And they're like, if you re-recorded this album on like higher fidelity, he's like, we put it out. I was like, really? He's like, we'll put it out. And I just went, it's on. And I just like called my buddy in Visalia, and he had access to like a 16-track half-inch machine. And I was like, here's the deal, man. Like, I want to make this out. And so I just went there for like 3 weeks or a month, and I made this record. I play all the instruments, everything, wrote all the songs, did it. I just redid what I did on the 4-track.
Right.
And I was like, that's it. I'm going to do this. I'm done. I want to do music. And so like I finished it, and I drove, and I'm not exaggerating. We finished it. I'd stayed up all night in Visalia. Jake's calling. He found out where I was staying. He's calling. He's like, where are you? Where are you?
Those phone calls would scare the shit out of me. I'd see his phone number. I'd be like, what'd I do?
Yep. So I drive through the morning. Like I was up all night through the morning mixing the album, and it was finished. I had like 3 copies on CDs, 3 CDs with it. And I drove straight, and I'm not exaggerating, I drove straight to Thrasher. I got there at like 7 a.m. Jake's the only one there.
Yeah.
There's no one. There's like a couple people like in the office, and he goes, what the, you know, he's looking at me. I just walked right in and sat on the couch. It's like 7. He's like, what the? He's like, we're giving you the juice. He's like, he goes, you're going on tour with Real. I said, I quit. I said, I quit. He's like, what the? What? I said, I want to do music, man. I just made a record. This record label's going to put it out, and this is what I'm going to do. And he was like, what? You play music?
And you got Fausto's piano? What is going on?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And you know what? He was the coolest. He was just like, all right. He goes, okay. And he's just like, we don't have any beef with you? You don't have any beef with us? And I said, no, man. He's like, you're paid, right, for the month? I said, yeah. I go, that's it. He's like, he like came over, and shook my hand, and he like walked me out. And he like told everyone in the office, he's all, Frida's got a record deal. Frida's got a record deal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude,
that was it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. And so you just dove in. You've been doing like
ever since.
So much crazy stuff. Like it seems like you got a good, I mean, we love using the instrumental songs that you do. You've been
amazing.
Yeah. Like having that stuff, and then you've worked with did you work with like some stuff in Hollywood?
I do a lot of stuff like what I basically do music for commercials and TV shows. That's what I do.
Really?
That's what I do. And that's what I do. Like, I'm like literally when I get off the phone, I'm doing a commercial for FanDuel right now.
FanDuel. How stressful is that? Is it stressful or is it easy?
It's stressful because it's not guaranteed. You know, it's like you get these. I work for a few different companies, and they send you the commercial or they'll send you a clip from the TV show.
So you're scoring something that's already been done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And sometimes like you spend a day doing it and you don't hear anything back and you didn't get it, or you're in where I'm at where you're in the final stages. Like they picked my track and I'm doing all these revisions to it. I've cut it down to 15 seconds. Yeah. Like but the back and forth is insane. And so I'm like at the final stage, you know, it's like they want me to add a couple bells or something at the beginning.
Can you add like a bird in this right there?
Yeah, right. Well, it has to be it's all musical. It's not After Effect kind of stuff. But yeah, I do that. I've done, I have hundreds upon hundreds of tracks, dude, that are on TV shows right now. Like I work for like the show called Teen Mom. You ever heard of that show?
Yeah.
Like I have hundreds upon hundreds of songs in those shows
because everything needs rights.
And so I hooked up with these supervisors and libraries, mainly libraries. And these shows, they don't have enough money to pay, you know, some gigantic band. Mm-hmm. So they hire someone like me, and they were like, we need 10 songs that sound like this, or, you know, 5 songs that sound like this. And so I get hired, they pay me a little bit of money up front, and then I keep the publishing. And so anytime it airs on TV, I get paid. And you have it, yeah. And that's just, I've been doing it for 10 years now, straight up, dude.
And it's not like working at a pizzeria and not being able to eat pizza. You still love it. You come home from doing that and you want to make more music.
Yeah, well, it is a little soul sucking, I would say, but it makes me want to. What it does is it makes me want to make my own music.
Oh, okay.
That's what it does.
I get you. Yep.
It propels you to, you know, like. The cool thing is it actually gets a lot of the crap out, because then when you do sit down and write your own stuff, like I'm using chords I never would have. You know, that's what's cool about it, is that they send me a scene from a TV show or a commercial. And it's like the music I would make for that, I would never make on my own. Oh. That would never happen, you know? Uh-huh. So it opens your like to different chords on the piano or the synthesizers or whatever. And you're just like, and then you just in turn kind of like, when you sit down and start writing your own stuff, you're like, oh, what if your finger positions on the piano, just things start changing. And it's really been, it's really worked well for me in the past decade or so. The first 10 years I did. I mean, I've been doing this for 20 years now, man. Straight up. Like
if you sit down, what's your go-to? Do you go straight to a G? Do you go D, like a B flat? Like what are we starting with?
Weird. I've been really into D, but like not like a straight D. It's like, I'm looking at a piano right now. It's like
D sharp.
No, it's a D. The root chord's a D, but then it's like having a lot of chords hanging over, like notes hanging over it, like having an A over the D, or like learning how chords you can mix a G and a C together. Sorry, I'm like looking at the piano right now. Like there's notes that hang over.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Nice.
I've never taken theory, which is sometimes I'm like I should have, but what I have learned it just by sitting here, and notes, it creates a mood, you know, like that's another thing. It's like it's all about creating moods and what I do.
And I mean, looking at your studio, that it's very analog. What do you feel about the digital world? Like doing like
I hate digital.
Yeah,
I hate it.
But you don't play with it at all, like GarageBand
only for work.
or any of that stuff.
No, I mean everything's in Pro Tools. Everything's in Pro Tools.
Well, yeah,
but for work, I mean, and it's all a lot of virtual instruments for work.
Okay.
I still use real drums. I never use fake drums. It's always real drums.
Good.
That's why they're mic'd. They're ready to go.
Nice.
But yeah, anytime, like I got to work on this TV show a couple years ago, and it was so rad because I tried to try out for it, which was insane. And it was like it was crazy, dude. But then he called me. He's like, "You got it." And I went to his studio, and it was like, we only use analog stuff, you know. And I was like, yes. And so, and I try to incorporate some type of analog thing on anything, even if it's a commercial I do, because it can just start, you know, if it's all digital, it really, you can hear it. It's kind of empty, you know?
Right. Okay. And what about Conor Oberst? We got to talk about that. How did you guys meet? Like,
that's an insane story. That's a whole nother podcast, man. I mean, that's like it's truly another podcast all in itself.
Wow.
Because that was, again, what's rad, I mean, there's been a lot of times where I've been down and out, man. I mean, truly. And that's just part of it. But everything that's happened for me has really come naturally. Like, I didn't, like, try to be in his band or try to meet the guy. It was like I was on tour playing guitar for my friend Jim Fairchild. He had a band. This is like 2007.
Uh-huh.
And it's when I started playing with people. I'd never thought about it. And people started asking me, would you like to play? And I was like, sure. And they'll pay you a couple bucks every week. And that's what I was like, I'm going to do this. And last show of the tour was in Omaha, last show. And I always carried CDs, my own CDs in my pocket, always. So there was like a late night, pass the guitar around, kind of like 4 a.m. at someone's house after the show. And I was like, all right, and I played a song. And this guy comes up to me, he's like, man, you got any CDs? I was like, you got it. And I just like reached in my pocket, like a bit, here. And then we went and stayed at his house, which was like a mansion. It was like huge, to me, it was like this huge place. It wasn't really a mansion, but it was a big house. I was like, where the fuck am I, you know? And then I had an airplane flight at 6 a.m. Like woke up, I slept for like 2 hours, got on a taxi and flew home. The tour was done, whatever. That was fun. Got paid a couple $100, whatever. Paid the rent. And then like a week later, Jim Fairchild emails me. He's like, hey man, this guy Conor Oberst, you heard of Bright Eyes? I was like, yeah. He's like, he was wondering, can he have your email? I was like, why? He's like, well, those CDs you gave that dude, that's Conor's cousin, and he really dug what your stuff. And he gave it to him. I was like, what? Okay. And so like a couple days later, I get an email. It's from Conor Oberst, literally, and he's like, I've been digging your CDs, and Bright Eyes is going on tour. He's like, you want to open up the tour? We're doing a West Coast tour. And I was just like, what? Like literally, I went and knocked on my roommate's door. I said, come read this. Is this like, what is this?
Is that real?
So you did a whole West Coast tour opening for him?
So I did a whole West Coast opening for him solo. I said, I have no band. I mean, I was getting paid $100 a night. You know, it's like, you're not making a lot of money. And he's like, that's fine. And I went and rode on their bus. Yeah, dude.
Are you nervous at all? Like,
oh, are you kidding?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me, dude?
That's what I'm like. Well,
dude, I'd never played in front of, like, I'd played in front of maybe like 200 people before.
Yeah.
I walked down, it was Denver. First show was in Denver. I fly out there.
Like, what size venue are they playing? Like Fillmore size or bigger?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all Fillmore. Yeah. That size.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I walk out there. I mean, it's packed. Denver. And I'm with my guitar, dude. With my guitar.
You got any jokes?
Nowadays I have tons of jokes. But I always played. I was, I played solo a lot. And I went out there and like it, but like I did really well.
Nice.
People loved it. And Conor I remember he was sitting on the side stage and he was just like, he gave me a huge hug. He's like, man, that was awesome. And I was like, what is going on here? Like, yeah. And so I did like whole West Coast tour. And then when it was over, I thought that was it. I was like, man, that was really nice meeting you, man. Like, that was a life. I'll never forget that. It was like one of those moments where I was like, I'll never forget that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I sold we played Alaska. I sold 100 CDs in one night.
Anchorage or Juneau or where? Fairbanks?
Anchorage.
I love it. Yeah, it's nice.
Think about that, though. Just
100.
Think about it. I mean, I was like, what is going on here, dude? So... But anyway, yeah. And then after that, like a week later, he calls, or his agent at this point called me, his booking agent. He's like, "Hey, Connor's doing East Coast. You want to go do these?" And I was like, "Okay." And I bought a plane ticket and met him in like Birmingham, Alabama. And then I was first of 3, opening up to this other band called Felice Brothers, who are incredible. I don't know if you know them, but you should, everyone should check out the Felice Brothers.
Okay.
Check them out.
Happy.
They're so good. Yeah, they're great. Anyway, so then I did that whole thing and was like, okay, thanks, man. Like, that was insane. And then he was like, and then a month, this is true story, man. Then a month later, like, I'm back in LA, you know, just like, you know, I made a little money. I was feeling pretty good. I'm like, hey, man, that was cool. He calls me. He's just like, hey, man, if I'm playing a couple shows in Minneapolis, 2 nights at this little place, like 400 Bar. It's called 400 Bar. And he's like, you want to open these shows? I was like, okay, if that's what you want, you know? And he's like, but here's the deal. He's like, I'll pay for your plane ticket if you play guitar for me in the band. And I was like, you got it. Like, just send me the songs. You know what I mean? Just send me all your songs, what Bright Eyes Records, and I'll learn them and be ready. He's like, no, it's cool. Just come out here. And I was like, okay. I go, do you want me to bring a guitar? Or he's just like, no, just bring your acoustic and whatever. And so I was like, okay. So I flew out there and go to his house, and there's the house I spent the night at. So I'm putting 2 to 2 together. Okay. I was like, oh, this is the house, you know? So anyway,
he's from Omaha.
Yeah, he's from Omaha.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I really like Omaha. Every time I've played there, even before I met him, I love Omaha.
That's where I think Hammocky's from near there.
Yeah, and so is Dennis Buzenitz.
Oh yeah, right.
He's from
Lincoln,
or yeah. I shot photos of him on a consolidated demo. I swear to God, when he was a kid.
Really, huh? Damn.
They're somewhere at the mag. They're somewhere there.
Okay.
Anyway, so we go down the basement. I don't know any of these guys in the band. They're not Bright Eyes. They're not the guys that I had been seeing. You know what I mean? The drummer wasn't. I'm like, what's up? You know, and there's an electric guitar sitting there by an amp. So I just pick it up. I'm like, and Connor starts playing songs that I've never heard before. And I was just like, just watching his hands and like picking out the chords. And I just started playing, and we just practiced all these songs that were, and so after the practice, like, I don't know what's going on here. Everyone else seems to know except me. And he's like, just so you know, like, these are all new songs. I'm doing a Conor Oberst solo record. And I was like, wow, that's amazing, you know? So then we rehearsed another night, and then we go play these shows at this Minneapolis, and it was great. And he broke me off a bunch of money, dude. It was crazy. I was like, whoa. Anyway, that night, he's like, we're going to Mexico. This is all really happening, dude. He goes, we're going to Mexico. He's like, I'm making a solo record. And he's like, everything you came up with on the guitar, I love it. He's like, I want it on my album. And I was like, okay. He's like, so we're going to get you a plane ticket, and we're going to fly you down here, and we're going to make this record. I was like, you got it.
Yeah.
So next thing I know, I'm on a plane, and I'm in Mexico, and we make this record. And then, I mean, like Jake says, I mean, the shit writes itself. It was just like,
what year just like, was this? Was this before or after the movie Juno came out?
Wow.
Like, he did the soundtracks for, you know, That First Day of My Life, and
after
We Are Nowhere and all that.
Yeah. Okay. It's after that, because that song, every time he played that, the crowd went crazy.
I mean, that's one of the most popular wedding songs of any genre.
He has a crazy story about the Google paid him, I think, or flew him, one of the guys from, there's a crazy story about just to play that song at a wedding.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, they were like, we want that song. You play it at our wedding. Yeah.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Hey, me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Zuckerberg.
You didn't hear that from? I don't know. I don't know. We're talking crazy shit.
Oh,
but
shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
So and then the whole Mystic Valley Band thing just
So that's again, an ongoing thing still, right?
Yeah. Sometimes you get the call from him. You know, I think a couple of years ago we went and did some stuff, and we're just like a family. That's a really cool thing, man, to be a part of. It was definitely there was never any lame shit. We were like, his manager hated us, his booking agent, well, basically they thought it was just gonna be a one-off thing, and Connor just loved doing what we did. He's just like, let's make another record. And then we made another record, you know, and he's like, I just want to keep doing this. And it was really like his management was like the ones that kind of cut it off. They were like, no, you need to
focus on Bright Eyes.
Yeah, you need to do another Bright Eyes record. You need to do, like, he did Monsters of Folk. I don't know if you remember that with like M. Ward and Jim James and stuff.
Right.
So they had all these other things on the books.
So you guys, how many did you make? 2?
We made 2 records, yeah.
That's so cool.
We went out. We got paid. We went and played like a wedding a few years ago. Like one of his friends. Like we flew out to Omaha, and just like this huge bash, like crazy show.
Well,
it was a lot of fun. That's all I can think. Like that's all I can say, man.
I got one question for Connor. We've listened to a lot of his music. We know what makes him cry. What makes him smile or laugh?
I think just being in a normal situation.
Yeah.
I think he really likes, I think that's why he liked hanging out. I get calls whenever he's in town, he'll just call me up and we'll go get some beers. He just wants to be normal, dude.
Yeah.
Think about it. Like since he's a teenager, I mean, I remember when I started playing with him and looking out in the crowd and seeing like the first 2 or 3 rows of people that were psycho, dude.
Almost like the Beatles, just like
yeah, they were just
mania.
Like hanging on every word. I mean, we weren't even there. You know, I remember like doing guitar solos and no one's even looking at me. They're just like watching Connor like sit there. Like we didn't even exist, you know? So I think what makes him happy is he just wants to be in a normal situation. He's really just a normal dude, man. I don't, you know, I think it's really hard for him. That's like I get the random text, you know, what are you doing? You in town? I'm like, yeah, let's go. And just go to meet him somewhere and just get some beers and laugh. I think that's what he likes to do.
Nice.
Just normal shit. He's a normal dude.
Okay.
Straight up.
What's one of your favorite or the favorite best venue you've ever played? Like either together or solo or...
I will say the gnarliest show I ever played was actually with Broken Bells. I got to do that whole tour.
A tour.
We did Austin City Limits Festival.
Is there some weird random spot like, dude, Memphis kicks ass, or like some place that you would never like, dude, have you ever been to so-and-so Indiana? Like that place rips. Or
God, I don't know. I mean,
like
New Orleans is always good. Prague is always Europe. God, I'm trying to think. It's hard. It's a blur. Dude. I don't want to sound like a dick, but like it really is a blur.
Okay.
Like I remember we did a festival in Ireland that was unreal. Like I'll never forget that. It was like 15,000 people.
Be amazing.
It was like on the light. It was like at 1 a.m. and they just like shine the lights. Boom, and we walked out there, and the energy was just like it was. There were some nights that were when you know it's a good night when it's like you're rocking you so hard, and as soon as that last note hits and the crowd's like it's almost like air on your face, dude, from so much going and so when you get that, it's like energy to be like you're gonna give it back. So it's like this whole night it's like crazy until you just get to like and then you're out, and then the place is fucking, that's when you did it, dude. Every night. And I'm just say this, dude, like I know it's like a folk rock band, but I swear to God, when I walked out on that stage and put that guitar on, I wanted to rip. I was gonna everyone out there, I was gonna rip their faces off. You know what I mean? I was gonna I'm gonna give it to these people so they don't even know what's coming, dude.
Yes.
And that was our mentality. I mean, we're drinking. I don't know how many beers I drank every night, like 8, 10 beers, tequila, and we're just like, and the crowd. I mean, it was some of the best. Yeah, every night was a party. The crowds were insane. It was insane.
Amazing.
It was insane, dude.
Oh, nice, dude.
Yeah.
Stoked for you.
Yeah.
I want to try and record a song with you. Did you finish that thing that I don't know if you're still doing it, but you said you were making music and then sending it to friends and having them do lyrics?
Oh, that's right.
Did you finish that project or no?
No, it kind of went away. Yeah,
okay. I thought that was a great idea.
I know
Toad and Tobin do this thing that's similar in photography, where they do half frames and then send the film, and then the other guy doesn't know what the guy shot.
No way.
And then they develop it, and they're like, "Oh, that's amazing!" Yeah.
That is cool. Yeah. That's cool. I did make a whole new album. That's an instrumental record, like a whole new record, and I did it while I was making the book.
Okay.
Like, so it was like this off. So I'm calling the book Tule Fog, and then I'm calling the album Tule Fog. Same thing.
Oh.
And it's like
they're gonna not be together though. Like,
no, I'm kind of like, I mean, I put the book out, and now I'm gonna put the album out.
Okay.
And just there it is. You know, it's like.
When did the book come out?
2 months ago.
Okay.
It's right here.
Yeah, talk about that.
Yeah, dude. There it is.
Was that all photos that have those photos all been published or not been published, or like?
I'd say it's like 50-50.
Okay.
50-50. Yeah. Same thing. I started this literally like the day after Jake passed away.
No way.
That's when I started it, because I was like, I remember messaging some people on Instagram, but I knew it was just so dark. But I was just like, if there's anything I can do, anything, I'm here. I'll do anything, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I loved this guy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I know everyone was busy like doing shit, but I was like, I just felt it's when I started skating again, like super hard.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, I'm not exaggerating, like the day after. Like I was like, I've been carrying around all these boxes of all my old photos, and so I just like opened the boxes and just this is when it started, dude. Like I would not make this book if it wasn't for Jake Phelps, dude. So
what was the process? Did you just find photos first and then you started writing stories about each photo, or how did it all unfold?
Yeah, it was like I went through every single photo, and I'm not exaggerating, every single photo. And we're talking about like Caswell, Mark Johnson, like everyone from San Jose, you know, anyone I went on tours with. And I just realized, like, well, the best photos I have are of these dudes that I grew up with, you know? Like, everyone has photos of Mark Johnson. Everyone has photos of Caswell that are, like, way better than mine. Like, but these dudes are special. This is, like, where I grew up. And that's when I just was like, I remember I went and met with Jai Tanju, like, to shoot some photos for an album I made. And I just brought it up to him. Like, I think I'm about doing, like, a book with this. He's like, you got to do it. This is, you wait. And I was like, okay, it's on. I was like, and so that's how it started. And I mean, it's been like 3 years now. I mean, how long has it been since Jake passed? I mean, that I'm not exaggerating. I mean, I would take breaks, obviously, but I mean, at one point it was like 350 pages. I was like, I need to trim this back, dude.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's like 270 pages.
Did you get somebody to back you or help with it?
No,
or
no,
you did it all on yourself?
Yeah, I just did it all myself. Yeah, I'm just like, I buy it. You know, I've sold like a couple hundred already, man. I can't believe it.
And where can someone find it? On your website?
Yeah, it's like Big Cartel to Thule Fog. It's on my Instagram and everything. And
okay.
Yeah. Look it up, get it. It's super rad. And then the album's gonna come out with it. I just made like stickers for the album. It's pretty rad.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. So I just got these, but I made 50 CDs, so it's gonna be available on CD only at first, just to go along with it.
Open the book. Let me see what the first, like, what's the first impact when you open it up? The
first thing, it says for Jake and Jeff right there.
Nice.
And this is it says driving through the valley. Can you see it?
Yeah. Okay. Sick.
Big old mound of like manure and fertilizer. Right. And then it goes to Tom.
There's the Madonna.
Yep.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, I need to
send you a copy. I got your address. I'm gonna send you a copy.
Rad.
And then the article in the new mag. I can't. Burnett really hooked it up. I can't thank him enough. It really means a lot to see this in Thrasher.
How cool.
Because that's what this is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Okay. Well, I think I've taken a lot of your time. I want to do a quick this or that on the way out. Oh, also, I've been asking everybody, since you're a musician especially, who's the best American rock band of all time and why?
Oh, my God, dude.
I know.
The Minutemen.
The Minutemen. There we go. I like that. Because there's a big argument about Aerosmith, and I'm like, as good as they are, I can't say, like, my mind can't say Aerosmith is the best. Even if they are, I can't.
No thanks. Minutemen to me, because they encompass what music, like rock and roll, punk rock, just the Minutemen are.
Have you ever met Mike Watt?
I haven't, dude.
No.
I've been in the same room with him, but I've never met him.
Huh.
I don't know if I want to. He's my favorite dude.
Yeah.
Like,
don't meet your heroes.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. I've done it. There's some I'm like, oh God, what a kook.
Okay, we'll do a quick this or that on our way out, and then you can tell us what song we're gonna carry on out of here with.
Oh, that's right.
So we got Worley or Rhodes.
Oh, Rhodes.
Turlock or Clovis?
Clovis.
Jay Mascis or Doug Marsh?
Oh, dang. People are probably going to hate me for this, but Doug Marsh.
John Entwistle or John Paul Jones?
Oh, jeez. I rode on a train in Japan with John Paul Jones.
Oh, sick.
God. Entwistle. How about that?
Boris the Spider. Okay, here comes the tough one. Mr. TK or Mr. AP?
That is not fair, dude.
I got to say this, and this might help you. They both are legends, but there's only one Alan Peterson.
There really
He's
is.
so fucking up there as like John Cardiel, Wade Spire, Alan Peterson for me. That's what I think. And no disrespect to Tom. Tom was one of the pivotal people in street skating beginning and having like just that fast skate style and down the street and kind of like dressing, hitting everything and not giving a fuck. It's a tough one. We could say tie. We'll say
tie.
We'll say we're gonna give it the old Visalia tie.
Yeah.
Have you ever given Richard Paez a tattoo?
No.
Okay, and the last one is Hanford Park versus Modesto versus Visalia versus Los Baños versus Patterson versus Orange Cove. Who's the winner of the Valley for the skate park of the Valley?
Oh God. God, gee, they're so bad. I'm gonna go with Hanford. Why not? They're the winner. Hanford's the winner because that was the first one.
That's where I met Jesse.
Yeah, there you go. He killed it.
He fucking killed that. You know who else killed it? Little Panchito, Pancho Mueller.
Oh, right. Over the big hip. Yeah.
We had fun.
Backside heel. Yeah.
Well, dude, this was super fun. I might, I saw on your thing that you guys are doing a little tour, and one of the intriguing spots you're playing is in Felton because we have a cabin in Santa Cruz Mountains. So I might come.
No, I already did that show. I already did that tour.
Oh, what?
I did it already.
Those are 2nd. I was gonna.
Those are from last year. Those are last year.
Oh, damn it!
What is happening?
That was the Felice Brothers. That was a great show. Yeah, Felton. That was a good one.
Felton. It's in the Santa Cruz Mountains. God.
Yeah, it was an interesting show. It was good. Okay. SF was really good show. Yeah, Great American. I will definitely let you know though. Like,
please do.
When I play up there, I want to start playing again. It's been a minute.
Yeah, the COVID's probably made things interesting as far as live performances, right?
Wow. I mean, and that we're going to be learning about that for the next few years. I think of what it kind of did to music, art. Like it just there's a divide that I'm seeing where I'm kind of like, whoa. Where some people really like their careers took off during it.
Well, some people made whole albums about it, right? Like, for sure.
But some people had, like myself, I had a record come out right when it happened. Like I was supposed to go on tour in the UK.
Right.
I was gonna go play in Mexico City. I was like, 2020 was gonna be rad, dude. Had a new album and like done. So and I had one Bright Eyes, Connor. Like I would get calls from him. Like he's like cooped up. He's like, let's come play music with me. Like he was bummed, bro.
Would you guys ever do any of this like Instagram live stuff where you're playing on monitors for people, or is that?
No, I mean, I did some pre-recorded ones where I filmed myself playing every instrument. Like I did a couple of those.
Oh yeah.
But I just don't. It's just there's no connection. It's
it seems weird.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I think like we're gonna see in the next few years like what the pandemic did, because some people's careers took off in that climate because they got way into it, like playing in front of like a computer. And to me, it is so weird.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
I mean, I was going to try to do every other week a podcast where I don't interview someone, and I tried to do one just by myself, like Bill Burr style. Dude, I couldn't even.
Did you post that one? I think I heard that one.
Maybe.
Did I hear that
it
one?
was like 5 minutes or so.
Well, there's one where you got interviewed, right, by your wife.
Yeah, that's
right?
different though.
That was a good one.
Having a conversation with someone is so much easier than having a conversation by yourself and just saying things. I was like,
so there you go. Well, there you go. Like playing, it's just so.
Yeah.
I did like I said, it's we're gonna be hearing about it, I think, and we'll be learning about it. People like their careers kind of took off during it.
Okay.
Anyway, so we have to do last song.
Yeah.
It'd probably be kind of lame if I did my own song, but
people do it all the time.
They do?
Sure.
But we should close it out
with... It's like wearing the shirt of the band at the concert. I heard that's a faux pas, but...
Yeah. No, don't do it. I think we should do AM Magic.
Ooh.
It's a song called Blue Timber.
Yes. I love it.
That I actually helped mix and record, and I played on it. But it's Karma singing. Blue Timber. It's such a great song. It's beautiful.
If you've never been able to hear the pipes of one Karma Tashev, you're
now you
missing
will.
out.
Yeah,
a little bit of brandy goes a long way with Karma. All right, well, fuck yeah, Nick. Thank you so much. And also, the curb skating you do is fucking kick ass, dude. I'm so stoked.
I really appreciate it.
I don't know if you in tune with exactly what I'm doing, but I've just put feelers out and I'm getting all these people sending me. I'm going to make a video piece of just friends of the show, only skating curbs. Only curbs.
Only curbs.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's on.
So you're in there with Chris Haslam, Jason Adams. Wow. Like I got a cast of like all these people, and then I got just people that you've never heard of that are listeners of the show. So everybody's an equal and they can all skate a curb. And so
epic.
I feel like it's a fun little, I don't know, family affair type thing.
Sure. Yeah. I love it. I'm stoked to be a part of it. And I really appreciate you having me on the show, man.
Well, stay in touch and send me your address. I'll send you a little box.
I will. And I'm sending you this book too. So,
oh, dude, I'll send you some dough. I like supporting.
No.
Yeah.
You got it.
Well, shout out to, where are you at? You're like right by
Monterey Park,
Alhambra.
LA.
Me and Alhambra Water making new friends.
Yeah, right about, Alhambra. East side.
All right, dude. I appreciate it. We'll talk soon.
Right on, man. Thank you.
Take care.
Okay.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Talking Schmidt. You can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Anchor, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcasts. When you subscribe, you'll get notifications every Tuesday of new episodes the minute they become available. Also, please leave reviews and a 5-star rating. It's the best way to help the show grow. All of the episodes will always remain free, but if you would like to help support the show, you can do so at TalkingSchmidt.com, where you can pick up some merchandise like t-shirts, beanies, hats, and stickers. The website has an entire archive of all of the episodes, with extra photos and videos. Email us with any suggestions, comments, or ways that the show may have improved your life at talkingschmidt@gmail.com. All interviews are conducted, edited, and produced by Schmitty. The intro music is Mary's Cross by the band Nature. A very special shout out goes to the executive director, Cheryl Camisa.
Shout out.
Love it! This is Talking Schmidt, where the Rolodex is deep, but the conversation is deeper.
Keep the wheels greased.